while you get more of everything. But you don't get to tell me what to think and what to do. No, you don't get to tell me what is true. 'Cause you're just liars, cheats and crooks. Change the rules and you burn the books. And so I don't believe a single word you say. You're all liars, fakes and cons. Want you out and we want you gone. So don't believe this time you'll get away. You want us tricked, you want us numb. You want us scared and you want us stung. You want us shocked and you want us bought in every way. You want our minds, you want our time. You want us framed up in your crimes. I hope you know that it's time to go and we're taking names. 'Cause you don't get to tell us what to think and what to do. No, you don't get to tell us what is true. 'Cause you're just liars, cheats and crooks. Change the rules and you burn the books. And so we don't believe a single word you say. You're all liars, fakes and cons. Want you out and we want you gone. So don't believe this time you'll get away. 'Cause we see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies. You don't get to tell us what to think and what to do. You don't get to tell us what to think and what to do. You don't get to tell us what to think and what to do. 'Cause you're just liars, cheats and crooks. Change the rules and you burn the books. And so we don't believe a single word you say. You're all liars, fakes and cons. Want you out and we want you gone. So don't believe this time you'll get away. 'Cause we see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies. 'Cause we're just liars, cheats and crooks. Change the rules and you burn your books. And so we don't believe a single word you say. 'Cause we're all liars, fakes and cons. Want you out and we want you gone. So don't believe this time you'll get away. We see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies. 'Cause we see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies. 'Cause we see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies. 'Cause we see la 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 all your lies. La 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 all your lies.
Wow. Man, this shooting in Australia, bro, listen, it's a tragedy. I hate that anything happened, but there is so many coincidences that just seem weird. One of the dudes who was injured in the attack was also attacked when Palestine and Hamas came over on October 7th, bro. That's just... you know what I mean, bro? Like, these guys, they use false flag tactics all the time. And false flag tactics doesn't mean that nothing happened and this is all a fake thing. The CIA will I'm not saying these guys weren't real and this stuff didn't happen, but they do spin people up to get them to do certain stuff. And how beneficially coincidental is this? It pulls at the perfect heart, almost magically, of the law-abiding, gun-loving American person, and it ties that to also feeling adjacent morally to the what happened on October 7th. It's just a perfect heartstring pull. You get it? If you were trying to manipulate people to get the hard right, who has kind of been like, I'm not loving what I'm seeing from that one country in the Middle East anymore, and you're trying to get those guys back, isn't this the absolutely perfect thing to get that it's almost like that's exactly how it would be written in the book to occur, to try to win back. I'm not saying that it happened. I'm not saying that that's what happened. But you have to be foolish not to be, at least be looking at this going, wow. You know what I mean? Wow.
A Holocaust survivor did not die in the Holocaust. He survived that, only to be murdered decades later at a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach. Alexander Klaitman escaped unimaginable evil as a child. He survived Siberia, he survived the Nazis, he rebuilt his life in Australia. And this week he was killed at Bondi Beach in a terrorist attack while shielding his wife. His wife said that he stood up to protect her, and that's how he died, protecting the woman that he loved. And he wasn't the only one. A 10-year-old girl named Matilda, a rabbi, a young man named Dan who was just getting started with his life, Peter, a former police officer, a man who fled the Soviet Union as a teenager for a better life, a 78-year-old grandfather who died trying to shield a family friend with his body, an 82-year-old woman, an accomplished professional, a brilliant bridge player. These weren't symbols, these weren't headlines, they were people. A man who survived the Holocaust died protecting his wife at a Jewish celebration. Let that sink in. If that doesn't shake you, then I don't know what will.
I don't think y'all are pissed off enough yet. What else has to happen for people to start opening their daggum eyes and pulling their head out of the sand? When are you going to start waking the heck up and realizing right now this isn't left versus right? This is spiritual warfare we are in right now. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. We are living in the last days. God said he will pull the veil back so we can see the actual evilness of this world, what Satan really can do, and we are watching it in real time. But yet we're still choosing to be silent and sleep and be a sheep and depend on the man. The man ain't going to save us. Yahweh, Jesus Christ himself, it's the only one that's going to be able to save our souls right now. Y'all need to stop being so complacent. I'm talking to myself when I say this as well. We need to start putting on the full armor of God. Screw the government, screw the man. He's the only one that can save us. Because soon and very soon, this world will be nothing but a memory. It's either heaven or hell. And until that day comes, we need to stand firm in our beliefs right now. Do not cower down. Do not bend the knee. Do not be scared. God did not cover us in fear. He covers us in courage. Because we have been washed in his blood. He died on that cross to save us. And you think he's going to abandon us now? He's testing us, people. He's testing us. So either we start leaning on him and quit depending on the man, quit depending on government, or we're done. Your life will be lost.
Fox News alert. There's a manhunt underway for the shooter who left 2 dead and 9 wounded at Brown University Saturday. Students were holding a study session for finals when a masked man entered the lecture hall armed with a long gun and started firing. Here's an eyewitness.
I was standing in the front, so as soon as he walked in, he immediately saw me and I immediately saw him. And then I look to my right and I see a bunch of students running down the stairs, running out the door, jumping on the ground, just whatever it takes to stay alive. When I saw him, I saw a gun. I genuinely thought, like, okay, this is the end of the road for me.
How soon did he start shooting after he entered the room?
He just started shooting right away. There was no hesitation.
That guy and about 20 other students ducked behind a long desk inside the auditorium and just waited for the gunshots to stop. The AP says around 40 rounds were fired. This went down around 4:05 Saturday afternoon in Rhode Island. Brown University didn't send out an alert until 17 minutes later, telling students to shelter in place. And not a single one of the sirens on campus went off. Apparently, the Providence police and campus safety officers didn't make it to the scene of the crime in time to apprehend the shooter. Students were locked down for 9 hours, crouching underneath desks, barricading themselves behind their beds, texting "I love you" to their family, while police went door to door. At 6 a.m. the following day, Brown lifted the lockdown. One of the victims was 19-year-old sophomore Ella Cook. She was the vice president of Brown's Republican Club, an Alabama native who was a devout Christian. Her pastor described her as a tremendous bright light, and she may have been the most prominent Republican on campus. Brown's considered the most liberal of all the Ivy League schools, so any members of the college Republicans would be very well known.
The family of Ella Cook, the Alabama young woman who was a sophomore, has been told that she was the target of what happened at Brown. I have no idea whether that's true.
And the other thing is, if the police are telling Brown students that they are safe, they don't have to shelter in place anymore, but they don't have a suspect in custody, I think that also suggests that this was some kind of targeted attack.
Well, we haven't confirmed that yet, but Primetime's investigating. We're also hearing that the shooter may have screamed something before he opened fire. We haven't confirmed that, and police have been very coy.
There's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Could you tell us what that was?
Yes, part of the investigation.
Is there anything else inside that auditorium that you could tell us?
No,
Did he yell though? Did he say something?
That's something that we're investigating. We took statements and we have to confirm.
Is there any audio from the scene?
So,
any cell phones? There are a lot of cell phones there.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
So a guy walks into an Ivy League building, lets off 40 rounds, murders 2 people, walks out, and 3 days later, we have no idea where he is or who he is. I guess we're assuming it's a he, but we don't even know that for sure. And police won't even say if it's a man or a woman. Police thought they had their suspect, a white Army veteran.
Now someone's in custody. How you all are working together to garner that information.
Custody is the wrong word.
Someone being detained, rather.
Correct.
But late last night, they said, oops, wrong guy.
Shortly, we will be releasing the person of interest who had been detained earlier today.
Providence Mayor Brett Smiley isn't even sure releasing this guy was the right call.
So you're absolutely convinced the person of interest had nothing to do with this?
We're not saying that definitively. What we're saying is that after a review of the evidence that was gathered, it was determined that the person of interest needed to be released.
CBS is reporting that investigators had to restart the investigation after early missteps that cost them several hours. As things stand tonight, Rhode Island doesn't seem to have any leads. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any tips that could lead to an arrest. And moments ago, officials held a presser to release new images of the suspected shooter, sporting all black threads with a beanie and a face mask, walking on a sidewalk in the vicinity of the shooting. This was recorded a couple hours before the shooting, so it looks like it was premeditated and this person was casing the area. These are the clearest surveillance videos that we have so far, and there's not much to go on. All I can say is we can probably rule out a black guy. We're looking at a chubby white, Hispanic, or Muslim male, about medium height. Even with the new surveillance out, the police won't tell us anything.
Is there a new description you can give us?
There is, and it will be on that poster that we're going to be releasing on the images.
Okay, so millions of people were watching the police chief live, and he said he'd put it out online. Why wouldn't he just tell us? Well, we checked online, and 2 hours later, he said the suspect is light-skinned and stocky. Brown University has over 800 security cameras across campus. Cameras are located in campus buildings and walkways and public streets, but not a single camera got a clear shot of this guy going into the building or leaving the building. And Police Chief Oscar Perez has been confused from the jump.
Brown University is the most camera-ridden, most conscious piece of real estate in Rhode Island, and yet there seems to be little or no video evidence outside of that clip. Is there a lot more video that we're just not able to see yet because of the ongoing investigation, or is there simply no video?
So what we shared with you the other day is what we have.
Okay. We have high-resolution cameras for speeding tickets, but not for mass shooters at Ivy League schools. Brown's tuition is $70,000 a year. The school's endowment is $8 billion. And someone just walked on campus, murdered 2 students, and got away. And the president of the university is playing catch-up.
President, with all due respect, 6 hours after this shooting, and you said you don't know what was going on in that classroom, how does that happen? Were they taking an exam? Were they meeting for a club?
I don't know. I don't know.
6 hours later, you're the president, and you don't know.
I do not know.
So, that's kind of concerning.
Trump says Brown dropped the ball, but the FBI is there if they need them.
They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything, but you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact.
The FBI doesn't have jurisdiction over this case. When the locals ask for help, they'll help, but the locals are running this investigation. And even the local media has had it with their leadership.
President Donald Trump has said that Brown University is to blame for this shooting, saying it's the school's problem. Is that a fair criticism, or do you disagree with what the president said?
I don't think it's fair criticism.
Colonel, can you expand on that?
Why not? Because Brown University is not collaborating with you guys. You're lying to the press over here. They have facial recognition. We know that because they follow the students, they follow everybody in the neighborhood. Facial recognition. They need to release that data so everybody know who the guy is in video. We got the video Saturday. Why you guys release the video today?
I think I answered the question.
Wow. It's been 72 hours. This guy could be anywhere by now. The FBI is going to have to come in and do their thing. But Providence is on edge. They're being told to remain calm, but don't have a lot of confidence in city officials.
There's been no new, credible, specific threat anywhere in the Providence community.
With respect, Mayor, there was no threats made prior to the shooting, so how can people feel safe with that information?
The way in which we are trying to reassure our residents is through a noted, visible police presence throughout the community.
The shooter could still be in Providence, or he could be in Virginia. Mayor Smiley says he went to go look for him at a pizza joint and grabbed a slice while he was on the clock.
I talked to one of the women at Antonio's, which some of you know is a pizza by the slice joint, and she said, I didn't want to come to work today, but I needed to work. I needed to take shift, and that's a very real thing happening in our community right now.
The best video we have of this guy is a ring camera shot where you can't see his face, but Mayor Smiley says he just wants to go to bed.
Everyone you see behind us, we've all been working for now 49 hours. We're tired.
Tired? 2 students are dead, 9 in the hospital, and you have no clue what happened. Smiley wasn't tired when he was marching for gay pride or fighting Trump.
The question is whether actions like this will actually help us get to zero. I don't think they will. Community policing works. Having local law enforcement with a relationship with the neighborhoods that they are policing and patrolling works. Sending in National Guards men and women who have not been trained in urban policing, are not trained community police officers, isn't going to make our cities any safer.
Imagine if they had the National Guard in Providence. That shooter probably wouldn't have opened fire. The Rhode Island Attorney General, all he does is sue Trump and resist ICE. And his office is completely out of control. His assistant is the lawyer who got intoxicated last summer and assaulted officers, remember?
I don't want to arrest you guys.
You're not going to arrest us. I'm an AG. I'm an AG.
Good for you. I don't give a
I'm an AG. I'm an AG. I'm an AG. But you're going to regret this.
Yeah.
You're going to regret it. I'm an AG.
What kind of office is this guy running? Families want answers. Hundreds of students just fled campus. The city's on a brink. And the locals are whining that they're tired. Every day the manhunt goes on, the less likely it is to get justice. Let's hope they crack this case. If you have any information, please reach out to the FBI and the Providence Police Department. Former FBI agent Stuart Kaplan. Are you as frustrated as I am, Stuart?
I am, Jesse, and I think what you're seeing played out is the cascading impact of early mistakes that are now amplified 72 hours later. You know, Jesse, when the shooting stopped and law enforcement arrived on scene, the first thing is obviously to try to figure out who they're looking for, locate, identify, apprehend, neutralize that person. At the same time, trying to and give life-saving measures to those that are still alive. It's funny. I guess it's not funny, but it's concerning that did the campus police not segregate or retain those witnesses or keep them isolated? What happened to the eyewitnesses in that classroom? Were they, hunkered down? Were they separated? Were all the things that should be done to maintain the integrity of a crime scene? And are we seeing those early missteps or why we are here now, or almost 72 hours later, with no further along than we were on Saturday at 4 o'clock when the shooting unfolded?
Well, I think we know the answer to that question, and the answer is no, because Brown University just put out on social media, if you were in that classroom, if you were an eyewitness, please come forward and talk to us. And so you could answer so obviously these people were not quarantined and they have no idea who the witnesses were and where they are now. When the police chief comes out and doesn't say anything and changes the story and the mayor says he's tired, I mean, that just drives me crazy.
I kind of feel like he's ready for that song was coming on. How you doing, brother? Tim's back, y'all. Thank you for those healthy prayers. He said he's feeling a little better, not all completely. We'll let him let him weigh in on that. I don't know. I think MelzieKaye might be out today, so we got the boys back. The boys are back in town. We'll see how she goes. We're gonna cover quite a few, I think, more new stuff today. What do we got here, Tim? What do you got? Give us an update. How you feeling, brother?
Still feeling a little rough, you guys, but man, I mean, this crazy. Hang on, man. He's all excited about QSCHQQL.
You're coming scratchy on my end too. Do you still have tabs open? Maybe close a few tabs down. I meant to tell you that earlier. No, you don't have to be tabs.
Okay, I'll reboot then. You say hi to the gang. I'm right back.
All right, we should have done that ahead of time. Apologize, guys. We'll get Tim back in here. Let's see, cover. So was going to show X22 report. I think we'll do that tomorrow. The 17th will be an interesting day. There's Trump did a rally December 17th in Reno, Nevada when I was there, and was supposed to come out at a certain time. Made us wait 89 minutes and then came out at 6:29 and touched the microphone. That's when Tim would always start the clock. 6:29 Eastern time. So it was a triple 17, December 17th, made 89 minutes, 8 plus 9, 17, and then 6:29. I was talking about when Trump came to Reno December 17th while you were gone there away, though. But go ahead and catch us up on what else you want to catch us up on, brother.
Yeah, well, what I was about to say was I can't believe my head's still spinning. Obviously, I'm under the weather a little bit, but I haven't kept my eye off the breaking news all around the world, and it's just crazy. It's still unfolding. And what's really interesting about today's title, News Unlocks the Map, and we're going to get into a lot of Q drops, folks, and News Unlocks the Map, and future does prove past. We're going to prove it to you. Just as you were playing the Hey Don music opening, Kyle, I don't know if you know this, but there's just been a drop by Trust Grassley, and I looked at the Q drops and Trust Grassley. We've had John Sullivan, who's in the Q drops last night and this morning on War Room with Steve Bannon, talking about the Clinton Foundation investigation is hot and heavy and oozing to the surface, along with Uranium One, which ties the Clinton Foundation. Uranium One will bring all those Q drops in for you guys. But Trust Grassley, just breaking news coming out about the FBI DOJ of the past illegal raid on Mar-a-Lago. Brothers and sisters, I mean, this whole thing's unfolding. And then you had Trump truthing about the bogus J6 committee and how they destroyed evidence. And what does Q say? Wow. We have it all. Plus, Trump has a huge announcement tomorrow night at 9 o'clock from the Oval Office. And I've got a bunch of stuff on Diggers, Kyle. We should just dive right into it all. It's crazy. But I can't believe how this stuff, it's coming out like in a flood right now, guys. It's no longer a drip, drip, drip thing. This is a flood thing coming our way. And what I find really interesting, and I think all of you guys can agree with me, What's that one couple of famous Q drops that say when bad news is coming out for the Dems, what happens, Kyle?
Usually a false flag. Usually a false flag.
Yeah, and how many of those did we see occur over the weekend, guys? I mean, there's been a lot of shootings, killings, acid burning women. I mean, it's just crazy what's going on. We just right as we started Q school, there was an MIT professor shot and killed at his home. That was breaking news, just as on live. So yeah, the demons, the doubt that all these little demons out there are losing their freaking minds, guys. It's getting pretty wild, hot and heavy out there in different parts of the world. So we do have to keep our heads on a swivel. But we're gonna get through this. We're gonna go through the Q drops. We're gonna go through the breaking news. We're gonna listen to John Solomon because obviously he's close to the source, guys. I mean, he's always busting out the breaking news. And I do have a couple of clips, one from last night and two from this morning, Kyle. Plus all the Uranium One, Clinton Foundation, and now the Trust Grassley Q drops. I just brought up Q drop number 49 that ties Grassley with Uranium One and Clinton Foundation. No, you can't make this up, guys. And he's the one that's dropping the memo about the bogus Mar-a-Lago FBI raid. Back on, what was the date? August 8th?
Grassley, it was August 8th, 2022, the Mar-a-Lago.
88 miles an hour, guys. That's the speed we're going right now.
right. You got that right. All right. Well, hang on to your pants. I guess we're going to cover a lot of all these current events. I think, too, we'll find out the date of Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton are supposed to appear before court or testify. I think they have to show up this time, right? Because, I mean, I don't know. We're going to see how this all plays out. So, the financial stuff's happening. Are we going to have justice for Christmas? I think it's all coming down the pipe here, so it's going to be a wild time, especially it's been a little quiet. It's starting to picking up here. So,
well, that one tweet that Trump put out just before Q School said, "My fellow Americans," quotation, Q drop 55, "My fellow Americans." That's he announced his important announcement from the White House tomorrow night at 9:00. 9:00 tomorrow night. I can only imagine what he's going to be talking about with all these new well, they're not new investigations. I mean, John Solomon will explain it, but these grand juries have been set up for quite some time, folks. I think that the public's ready to view it and see it all now unfold.
Yeah.
And we got Andrew McCabe is also speaking of Q drops. Andrew McCabe, that's AK number 2 in the FBI. It's just been noted that he stopped the investigation into the Clinton Foundation, and guess what? The Wiener laptop, brother. That was breaking news last night after Q School.
Wow. Dang. Holy cow. Wiener laptop. Here it comes, right? All these different things Q talks about, of course, too, letting us know.
It's crazy. So if you go right to Diggers, you could we'll work our way up, Kyle, and then go to whatever Q drops you want to go to. Like I did a little mapping before we started the show. So just to let everybody know, we're not going to get through all these drops. We're certainly going to try, but there's 7 deltas today. And they're pretty relevant according to what we're discussing today. But with the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One stuff that from the past, from the Q drops, there's 24 Uranium One or U1. I did a U1 search, and there's 24 drops. And there's also 15 CF or Clinton Foundation drops. There's that 15 again, Kyle.
You're searching on QAG or Q Alerts?
Q Alerts, but I'm going to get you to do a search on QAG and put U1 with CF. And we'll see the crisscrosses. And then when I typed in Grassley, I got 5 hits, but Q drop 49 relates to all this breaking news today that Grassley just dropped a bombshell about this that Mar-a-Lago raid. So and that ties into Crossfire Hurricane stuff. So I mean, you can go whatever direction you want to go today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we can open up hundreds of Q drops just based on the breaking news in the last 24 hours.
Okay, right on here. So let's see. I got a couple things. I'm going to show Trump's Truth Social first. You covered a whole bunch of things pretty quick here. Here it is. 1 hour ago, my fellow Americans, I will be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night, live from the White House, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have to make bets when he's actually going to touch the microphone. Maybe 9:17 tomorrow night, boss. We'll see. I look forward to seeing you
Look
then.
at seeing. Look at seeing in quotation.
Oh yeah, I look forward to seeing. Ooh, we just covered that Q drop yesterday with the ing in the parentheses, and I believe it was like a misspelling because it said time. It was supposed to be timing is important. It has been a great year for our country, and the best is yet to come. Hooyah, President Donald J. Trump on that one. And then this one just came out. You didn't even see this. Actually, let's just see them all. There's just a couple more here that came out, all since basically QSCHQL got fired up now. Can anyone believe that the Unselect Committee on Political Hacks and Thugs illegally and criminally deleted and destroyed all information having to do with their investigation into January 6th? The reason they did this is because it all came out my way. I was proven innocent, and they were proven to be liars and cheats. They must be held accountable and pay a very steep price. Let me bring this up on the side.
Interesting investigations in quotations, and the one prior to that is seeing in quotations. So seeing and investigation are both.
Ooh, we're starting to see investigations. All right, I see more of that. Okay, and then a couple more here. For those people that think I'm close with the new owners of CBS, please understand that 60 Minutes has treated me far worse since the so-called takeover than they have ever treated me before. If they are friends, I'd hate to see my enemies. There's one more in parentheses right there.
Yeah,
so,
that's
telling a story.
Three in a row.
Oops. Seeing investigations take over, and then this one. Check this out from the Department of Energy at 10:17.
Oh my God!
The DOE's in the house. Shout out QSCHQL, and this was is actually right when Tim and I just came on after Hayden. Look at 8 minutes ago. We've been on at least probably about 8 minutes. There it is. The boss said, "Scoop. Department of Energy sources tell me the agency is scrapping $615 million in Biden-era green funding earmarked for Colorado." How about that? Where Tina Peters is out. It's all coming down. Everything we've been talking about. That includes a $257 million grant for the Colorado State Energy Office, which focuses on equity and links, quote, between climate change, energy, and social justice. Because, yeah, the fucking weather really affects black people more than others, or something like that. I was being facetious, of course. Okay. Here's their bullshit they have out there in Colorado, and Trump just tweeted about that. U.S. Department of Energy. So how about that? Just a couple minutes ago.
So explain to our audience, why is the DOE so important? Why did you get so excited about the DOE?
Okay, yeah, the DOE, the Department of Energy. So let's go over to our old famous QAG board here, I guess. I still have this one up. Let's do QJOP 34, and we'll do 48 also. I think that's super relevant to do both
this
of them.
is going to be an amazing show, you guys. I can feel it in my bones already.
So I feel like we just recently, maybe it's been a few days or even a week since we did QJOP 34. We also have 48. So you want to add anything on this, or you want me to go into
Let's just go right to DOE. We've read that 34. That's Q Clarence Patriot. That's
first time we see Q Clarence Patriot. Yep. Again, if you go QJOP 51, signed by the White Hats, they're calling this Q now. They're calling them OP for OP Anon, original poster Anon. Okay, now we go this next one, QJOP 48. QJOP 38 is the first time we see the calm before the storm drop. This is QJOP 48, which is actually 14 after 34 also.
Oh, you got to put 55. You got to put QDrop 55 in there today.
All right.
Just because my fellow Americans, and at the bottom of 48 is the calm before the storm. So QDrop 55
kind
of has a little bit of a, it's got some good vibes to it about his announcement tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, then I got one more special one for us because it's 34. And then watch this. So 34, 14 drops later is QDrop 48. Look at that. It's 14 hours, 48 minutes, and 14 seconds. So we get the triple 14. And then 48's in there again. Shout out negative 48. We love you, brother. 48 is the Q drop here. So I think we'll just get right into it since it's already juicy.
Oh, wow.
What is Q clearance? Q asks. What hint does that explicitly refer to?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Stop right there. Stop right there. So the Grassley breaking news, I've got it at the bottom of Diggers. I just dropped it while we were playing Hate on Music. And then I went into the Grassley Q drops, and I specifically wrote on my cheat sheet. This is my list every time I open QSCHQL.
Hold on. Let me bring you up here to show that one more time for
yeah.
everybody.
Q drop 49 at the bottom. See right there at the bottom. Grassley
49.
Q drop 49. So bring Q drop 49 when we're talking about Q clearance. Just saying.
Okay. So 49 now too. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, it's right beside 48. Might as well throw 49 in there.
Yeah, throw it in there.
It's
okay. And then remember the 14, right? 14 post later, 14 hours and 14 seconds, 48 minutes, 40 seconds for Q drop 48. Yes, the Durham boat. And then you'll see what Q drop 3414 to roll it all out here. So
holy shit, man.
Ooh, this one might be one we could read left to right. We haven't done that since I did that on 133 and 134. Very interesting. This one would be interesting. What is Q clearance? Follow Senator Grassley. But let's stick. We'll go 48 and then 49 next. So what is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? Q asked DOE. What is that? That's Department of Energy. Although I did say maybe double meaning Department of Education, because that's a big thing with the Trump admin version 2. Are going to be probably scrapping the Department of Education and giving it back to the states so they can all compete for awards and making them actually do better for the students. So this other nonsense. Okay. Who would have the goods on uranium-1? Does stating Q refer that person works in the Department of Energy? No.
Oh my
Does it
God.
refer to that
Uranium
someone
one,
chopping?
I can't believe uranium-1. I forgot it was in that drop. And we're talking about breaking news about
I thought that was your
uranium-1.
first reaction too, Tim. That's so funny. That's so funny. But you was about Grassley and everything else. So we're gonna keep going. Okay, Q says no. So let me keep going and I'll explain it. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? So that's one of those where when Q asks this next question, it kind of assumptively makes that last question the answer that yes. Okay, so saying Q is the highest clearance. Now, in the Department of Energy, when you're handling nuclear technology, you do have a Q clearance. But according to Q, Q clearance is actually like highest clearance in all the different areas. So it gets sticky when you get up to the highest classification, the tippy top stuff. You got compartmentalization. You got other things that are like people think it's the highest classification, but it's not. So it's complicated to say the least. And then down here, and this is from May of 2010, Barack Obama said Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner. Russia, under Section 123 of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. That's a 19, add that up. After agreeing to a new nuclear weapons reduction deal and helping U.S. with Iran. Who is the enemy? What is being continually stated by all dirty D's? Russia is what? The enemy, right? Russia. Putin's a egomaniac, what do you call it? Fascist, all that bullshit. What did the dictator, what did the Russia reset really provide? Now, this is something different, right? Russia reset. I'm not sure which one this is talking about. Is that from like, what's the family name? The Romanovs, or is it the reset more recently? I'm not going to get into that one. Clearance / pathway to complete the uranium-1 deal. Why? And then here's the odd question next.
Bill Clinton. This ties Bill Clinton right in there, right?
Yep, Bill Clinton. Why is the Canadian Prime Minister so important? Of course, the Clintons were super mushy with Trudeau and those types of clowns. It's an interesting question to ask that next after Russia and uranium-1. I'll tell you the answer here in a second. They never thought they were going to lose. That's the White House, but especially with Hillary Clinton next. Okay, the calm before the storm. There it is. Second time we get that. The calm before the storm. Other one's queued up. 38. So uranium-1 was being funneled through Canada. Those assholes were funneling off uranium, which is used to create nuclear weapons to our enemies, Russia, Iran, and others like that. It's insanity to think that's our so-called friends. We're doing that right across the border. So uranium-1 is mined up in these areas, especially Canada's a major component, even of the human trafficking as well, too, with Hillary Clinton and all them. So anything else on that one, Tim? And then we'll go to 49.
Other than the fact that the next video clip after we read the Grassley drop and Q drop 55, because of Trump's, I'm just trying to keep this all in order. But I've got the John Solomon clip at the bottom of, well, one up from the bottom of Q School Biggers, and that's when he releases the information about the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One, which will tie right into this conversation, brother. And that was from
Right
last.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So, all right, let me show this. I have this graphic on Uranium One too. I want to show real quick before. So I have it here. So here it is. This year, something a little bit about Uranium One. Corruption is treason. What is Uranium One? Rostom's Russia's state atomic energy agency purchased Uranium One in a series of 3 separate transactions from 2009 to 2013. Shortly after Rosatom announced their intention to purchase Uranium One, Bill Clinton received $500,000 for a speech in Moscow. Again, that speech was 15 minutes long, no less, from a Russian investment bank linked to the Kremlin that was promoting Uranium One stock. Think how insane that is of what they tried to get Trump on. They tried to dig under every single stone to have any sort of connection. They spied on Carter Page. You don't have to look nowhere. You have it. It's a direct tie. Look at these assholes did this under when Bill Clinton was president. Hillary Clinton's Secretary of State then under Obama. And this is when it happened when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Bill Clinton is the previous president. He goes and gives a 15-minute speech and gets $500,000 for that speech from the Kremlin that was promoting Uranium One. Okay, despite having made an agreement with the Obama White House to disclose Clinton Foundation contributions while serving as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton did not disclose a series of transactions totaling $2.35 million from Uranium One's chairman to the Clinton Foundation during this time period. Uranium One shareholders would donate $145 million to the Clinton Foundation for over the course of the company's sale. Ultimately, this granted Russia control over approximately 20% of the United States uranium deposits. It's pretty crazy that they do all that. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for that little dig there. That was from Jedi 2. Shot that over on Telegram. Thank you, Jedi, for that. Appreciate it. And let me get back into diggers. And which one did you want me to bring up next, Tim?
Let's listen to John Solomon with Steve Bannon. This is last night when you and Melzie were still wrapping up Q School when these guys came on live last night, because Steve Bannon starts at 5 o'clock. So I'm assuming you guys were maybe just ending Q School, but right there, yeah, John Solomon drops a Moab last night.
Okay, so let's jump into it. Here we go.
Bad guys in Los Angeles on a New Year's Eve. Bombing. You've got what's happening in Australia. Put it in perspective for us, John Solomon.
I think today was a good reminder that America is currently at war, not in the traditional sense of a World War II or Vietnam War, but in the sense that our enemies are trying to create death and destruction on our soil. They do it with fentanyl, which has now killed more Americans than World War II did. They do it with terror attacks. They do it with hatred and anti-Semitism that eventually leads people to take such extraordinary actions as what we saw in Australia. So I think the president declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction reminds the American people in a powerful way that we are at war in this country right now. We are under attack every day in ways that we never saw before in our country's history. And whether it's the Chinese precursor makers or the Venezuelan and Mexican drug cartels, the president has made clear now he considers their actions to be as heinous as a nuclear weapon, as dangerous as a nuclear weapon, and he intends to punish those who perpetrate it like those who would deploy a nuclear weapon on the United States. So really extraordinary day today. Kash Patel keeps stopping terror and school shootings. I mean, you think about 3 or 4 or 5 school shootings I know of this year that they called local police. They rolled up a guy before he did something terrible. That's a great, thing, a more proactive, preemptive FBI. And of course, today, a major terror attack that looks like it was a far left group, pro-Palestine far left group that was going to light up Los Angeles on New Year's Eve, and the FBI stopped it before that could happen. So a good day for prevention, a good day for reminding the American people that we're at war with enemies, some of them a little less visible than the traditional enemies in the world.
We're going to drill down tomorrow the Red Green Alliance. You got this, looks like a tranny, some radical lefties, jihadists. It's the Red Green Alliance for this Los Angeles thing. We got to drill down. But John, I want to go back to the story that we're going to start with this morning, pre-dawn when you broke it, is that, and particularly the audience, a lot of us sitting there going, hey, I got we're at war. Trump's doing great stuff. We're sending these EOs. But how are we going to win this war when the enemy within, the deep state that you've been hammering for years and years and years? Tell us about your story when you don't know who's really on your side of the football and who's with us and who's against us, sir.
Well, what you end up seeing in this story this morning is that even during the first Trump administration, there were people in the Justice Department and the FBI who were protecting Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton from the sort of justice they should face for a pay-to-play scheme involving their foundation and Hillary Clinton's decisions as Secretary of State. Extraordinary memos, extraordinary details. We learned for the first time in these documents that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi gave to Chuck Grassley, and Chuck Grassley gave to Just the News, that the FBI first intercepted information suggesting a pay-to-play scheme with Hillary Clinton back in 2010. They were sitting, or they had a recording, a consensual recording made of a conversation by a famous Democrat, Indian-American Democrat donor fundraiser named Chatwell. He would eventually be convicted of some fundraising crimes, but the concern in that call was not excessive limits or contributions exceeding the limits. It was the idea that foreigners were lining up and they were going to give money to the Clinton Foundation so that Hillary Clinton could make favorable decisions for them and their countries and their foreign companies. That didn't go anywhere during the Obama years. In 2016, 3 separate FBI offices, as you and I have talked about, because these were earlier documents we got, opened up, and then on the Clinton Foundation, Little Rock, Washington, D.C., and New York all believed they had clear evidence of a pay-to-play corruption scheme involving the Clintons. As we mentioned the last time we talked about this, Sally Yates gave a command from the deputy attorney saying, shut it down. But inside the FBI, 16, 17, 18, it kept getting shut down. Andy McCabe kept shutting it down, kept putting pressure there to shut it down.
When is the statute of limitations run out on McCabe and these guys to get them off? Because I'm hearing it's like the last week of January of next year.
Well, remember, McCabe left in 2017, so 5 years is 2022. The real statute is in 2026 if you take the conspiracy case that Florida is about to begin in January. The clock is ticking, but you can bring a very big conspiracy case, and that case is now underway. For the first time, I can confirm they're bringing witnesses and
here we go!
Jury in Florida to look at the last decade as one ongoing criminal conspiracy.
Oh yeah, one long criminal conspiracy. That's called RICO, man. They've been putting the case together for years and years, and they're going to connect them all because these assholes been in cahoots with everyone. That's how those insurance policies work. Well, guess what? When we follow the money, it all leads back to the same assholes. They got nowhere to hide.
He brings up Grassley. Did you catch that? He brings up Chuck Grassley from back then. The only thing he didn't say was Uranium One, but he was talking about the Clinton Foundation, the pay-to-play scheme. That's all rolls into the same conspiracy, guys. And that's what he's talking about. The grand juries have been established. They have been set up, and they're bringing in witnesses. And Chuck Grassley in Q Drop 40. Let's go back to the Q Drops now. We're going to bounce in and out of these videos and bring you the Q Drops. Go back to the news because news unlocks the map, folks. That's today's title. Whew. Oh, my God. This is crazy how it's unfolding, you guys. It's in real time. This is happening.
Right.
Man. Yeah.
Right. It's like they come to life. The Q posts come to life. We'll help you all see it. So make sure y'all send the live out. Hit like if you're wherever you are. If you haven't done that yet, we're on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Rumble. We do lots of hanging out on Telegram. We got all of our recordings. We still put them over there. So y'all should know where to find us. Let me put that ticker on. We got no Mel in the background here, but I think she's in the chat with some of y'all out there. So shout out to MelzieKaye, wherever she is in the world.
So while we continue going through the rest of the show today, I want you, if you're taking notes, just write down Clinton Foundation, write down Uranium One, write down Mar-a-Lago raid. You can write down Grassley, Sally Yates was mentioned. Obviously, the Clinton Foundation, Bill and Hillary Clinton, who are now subpoenaed and must appear, or else they will be arrested, can spend up to a year in prison, folks, because they are private citizens. So that's part of the things that are unrolling behind the scenes with the House Judiciary Committee. Also, Trump bringing up the rigged 2020 election stuff and the J6 committee getting rid of evidence, guys. This is all being rolled into one big, well, let's call it a snowball, because it is that time of the year, right? I mean, this is exciting times, guys, and all these different Q drops, and we're going to see how they intertwine and connect, try and connect some more dots for you. But you know, with John Solomon dropping that news yesterday, and then we've got some more Moabs that were dropped from John Solomon this morning on Steve Bannon's War Room. We'll tie that all in together too. But let's go to the Q board again, brother, and let's find out about Grassley.
Okay.
About Uranium One, Clinton Foundation, and all that fun stuff that's now coming to the public for public consumption.
That's right. Right. The harvest is ready. The harvest is ready. We've got some corn stuff. Terrence over on Instagram mentioned that too, about the corn as well too.
That's in today's deltas too, by the way, or tomorrow's deltas.
Yeah.
The corn.
Yeah. Terrence said, trust Grassley, plant seeds, wait for the harvest, corn, boom.
Yep.
So
those the corny Q drops are either today or tomorrow's deltas. I looked ahead. Tomorrow's Q day, so happy Q day tomorrow. That's going to be a fun show too. I can't wait.
Okay. So I'm over here on a new sheet of QAG. I think you said you searched on Q alerts. What do you want me to search on here, Grassley, or you want me to do the character search?
No, just keep reading those 4 drops you had up.
Oh, the other ones we had. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got
Let's
you.
go there
this
first.
one. I'm going to put you on Q drop 49. This one's you though. You got the Grassley 49 drop.
All right, let's go. This is from November 2nd of 2017, folks. That's 8 years ago, plus a month and a bit. So quite some time ago. Follow Senator Grassley. What is different effective this week? What do you notice? Why does Senator Grassley, one example, have a
hold on 1 second. 1 second, too, guys. Again, this drop is from 8 years ago, like he said, but Grassley's still in the news today. So when you read, when we cover these Q drops, especially on QSCHQL, we're kind of called to different drops. Again, 49 is not a delta, but here we are. There's different reasons for this stuff. So when Tim's reading it, you know, and we'll kind of recap maybe what was going on if we can in 2017. But think about it right now, like as if the Q post is talking to us right now. When Tim reads these things here too. So follow Senator Grassley. So follow him on Twitter even too. I believe it actually even it kind of means that. It says it in different ways. Y'all let us know if we're not on the screen too. I gotta try to bring.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I just at the bottom of Diggers is his most recent drop based on records. Mar-a-Lago raid was a miscarriage of justice, and he's got all his documents and everything right there for us to read to you live.
Perfectly then. So let's do that. So we'll do that very next. Let me get my name back here, and then so okay, and then there's y'all can find us on the different channels. Make sure y'all follow us, hit like, all that good stuff. We got some swag out there too if you want to get for Christmas. 17% off also. Go ahead, Timbo.
So here we go. So what do you notice, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and all you Q-tards out there? Why does Senator Grassley, one example, have a higher than normal amount of security detail? Why is Grassley and others held in a secure location? When did this start? What has been different this week? Uranium One FBI informant? Have secret sessions been underway? How could this be discovered? What must be reported even if filed under state secrets? Where is state secrets in Q drop
14?
14, exactly. It's a name recognized around the world. Alice in Wonderland. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is big.
What do you think they mean by that? Like if there's human rights abuse, it has to be disclosed, or what must be reported even if filed under state secrets?
Well, I'm thinking Hillary Clinton all day long. State secrets, Secretary of State, state secrets. It's a name recognized around the world. Everybody knows who Hillary Clinton is.
Okay.
This is going to tie into the Clinton Foundation. That's the way I look at it. And then you got the Alice in Wonderland, which, of course, going through the Q drops, Saudi Arabia and Hillary Clinton, the connection between Alice and a bloody Wonderland, right? We got all of that connection. A1 and stuff. Okay, so on the bottom of Digger, speaking of Grassley, oh, you're going to show it. Okay, good. I've got the latest Grassley news breaking. 27 drops. You're muted, Kyle. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can now. Yeah. You're good now. You're good now.
27 Alice and Wonderland. So that's that whole specific phrase. That's basically, I would call that signatures. There's the first one too. That's why you can do different searches. The first one is 47. We just read 48. That's about the Department of Energy and Q clearance. 47 then jumps to 49, but both of them will have an Alice in Wonderland I would call these signatures. Alice in Wonderland signatures right there. 47, 49, 50, 52. So look at, they also jump over not only 48, Tim, the Alice in Wonderland jumps over Q clearance DOE post. It also jumps over the Q Drop 51 signed by the White Hats. The two
one nation under God. Q Drop 51.
Nation under God. Q Drop 51. So 50, 52, 53, 57, 58, 59. And then we finally get the Q Drop, or excuse me, one before the Q Drop still has Alice in Wonderland. Then it is, look at sandwiched again. Q Drop 61, the first Q signature. Immediately after that, we have an Alice in Wonderland signature again. And then where is Barack Obama today? Interesting. 63,
wow.
68. Wow, 71. A whole bunch of these here. Alice and Wonderland. But you'd have to probably, actually it gives the answer key right there. There it was. 75. Q Drop 75. By the time POTUS returns from his trip, the world will be a different place. Godfather 3, which is about the Vatican, right? Alice in Wonderland. Alice Lewis Carroll equals the Bloody Wonderland. That's not the full decode there. Let's see. Repost. Why did Jared Kushner travel to Saudi Arabia recently? And Jared Kushner's back in the news too, right? He's communicating with Ukrainian people, you said, Tim, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's working with the Trump administration version 2. And also that's where Larry Fink, we talked about last week with BlackRock, is working with Jared Kushner and the other fellow. I forget the other fellow's name, who's doing all the negotiations with Russia, Ukraine, and et cetera, trying to bring peace to the world.
Okay, right on. So this is a double post. I'm going to just read this real quick. Repost. Why did Jared Kushner travel to Saudi Arabia recently? What is Saudi Arabia known for? I would say oil and wealth and the desert, but I guess human trafficking too. Where do the biggest donations originate from? Saudi Arabia. Why is this relevant? What else is relevant with Saudi Arabia? Safe harbor, port of transfer. So it seems like they look the other way to human trafficking. There's lots of ports there in Saudi Arabia because it's a massive shipping center. Why was there a recent smear campaign against Jared Kushner and POTUS? Or is it a different JK? Why is the timing, and then we've had that too with the ing in parentheses, important?
Yes.
And let's see how many of these we got. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 of those too, I think. So Q Drop 27 Alice in Wonderlands, and then 70 Q Drop 75. You got 27 dashes on there too.
And that's the Cult 93 symbolism right there too. 9 times 3.
9 times 3. 10 times 3.
Cult 93.
Here's another one. Repost lost. Q equals Alice. You'll soon understand the meaning behind Alice and, in parentheses, Wonderland. Everything has meaning. God bless Q. So that's before Q Drop 123. You're talking about nothing is random. Everything has meaning. Let's see there. This one's interesting. Repost last. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Saudi Arabia is primary. U.S. is secondary. Asia, European Union next. So on and so forth. I would say that's probably true. Been proven true since then. Okay, lots of interesting stuff in here. They got Secret Service. This is all about trying to honestly assassinate the president. That's what that drop's about. 78. So that's a juicy one. All right. So anyways, 27 Alice in Wonderland drops. I want to see when the very last drop is. So we got it in Q Drop 144. There. Here's the full decode. Q Drop 86. Commander 86. Game over 86. Simple English gematria. Oh, here's this book. I think we read this one day. It looks like it might not be there anymore. It got taken down. The other student not functioning page. I think that's the actual book with where it's Hillary Clinton is the like Alice in the book, right, Tim?
Right.
I think that was. We have to find if we can get that one again. And then Q responds to Commander 86 posts 4 minutes 17 seconds later, or 257 seconds later. Finally, correct reference: Saudi Arabia, the Bloody Wonderland equals Alice in Wonderland signatures. Oh. So each of the Alice in Wonderland signatures has something to do with Saudi Arabia. At least Q's saying that. Study important. So this to me then would be a legend, right? Or how to read the map. So now if this is, I don't think Q would give us misdirection on this, is if the Alice in Wonderland signatures then relate to the Saudi Arabia drops, we can reread them now with a new eye and understand what those 27 drops really entail. Wow, that's cool. So I never came across that before.
What's that
So
one beside it? Patriots don't sleep. What's that one?
Yep,
142.
this is a really powerful one. 144. I mean, it's just one of those probably top 17 Q drops. You want to run through this one? We don't have to do any decodes. Pretty straightforward, but it's a little longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Oh yeah, I was gonna have you do it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Patriots don't sleep. 40,000-foot view necessary to understand U.S., Saudi Arabia, global events. Paint the picture, brothers and sisters. Decrease altitude. We will not fly that high again. Higher the altitude, greater the risk of conspiracy. ST. What's the ST again?
I always say I can. One time over all the years, somebody had a really good answer, and I ask people all the time, "What do you guys think ST is there?" Let's see. See, I even think like special ops, but it's not there. It's secret. I don't know. It's kind of a strange one. So if y'all put them in the chat there, if you got some good STs there, I really don't know. But what they're talking about there when they're saying altitude, it's a metaphor of Q can only go so close to certain topics, and then they have to back away because it's going to get attacked and labeled as conspiracy anyways. But when people truly come looking for the information, you can't give them all this crazy enough, and that's also kind of law of free will. You got to get to this information on your own, and that's really how we also have to help our friends and family wake up, by planting the seeds. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't follow Q's method by using Socratic method, asking questions. They'd be like, this and this and this is happening, and then a lot of times people say the craziest stuff. So Q is being very meticulous and careful with the information they share. That's why there's only one Q drop with Moloch. There's no Q drops talking about pedophiles or Democrats are pedophiles and eat babies and all that nonsense. Nothing about reptilians or anything like that. So that should be more obvious as you read what the drops are all about, and also trying to get as many eyes on this as they can, but not by like advertising or putting out there. It had to be done organically. People had to get to the information. They had to be called to the information. They had to ask for it. They had to want to know about it and go seek it out. Okay, and now it's really everywhere. You can't run from it, but people still run from it. Okay, sorry for that. So higher the altitude, greater the risk. Conspiracy ST. I'll see if there's any good answers. Go ahead and keep rocking, Tim.
Sure, sounds good. Many will not swallow. Oh, this is interesting. What is no such agency? Q Group? We were just bringing up the Q clearance stuff earlier in the show.
Right.
Who has clearance to full picture? Think Grassley and others. Important. SIS is good. You got the triple plus, Admiral Rogers triple plus, right?
So even right there, that's what I say too. Like so many people say there's that one Q drop. I think it's 133. We're just talking about it, where it says House of Saud 6+++, and then $4 trillion or whatever. So the House of Saud is also known as +++. But like I say, always double, triple meanings. To me, this is a major one where +++ is ADMR. We also get R as the 18th letter of the alphabet. I've showed that quite a bit. If you turn on Trump's tweets and search +++, there's 18 Q posts with +++, and then there's only 2 tweets, and one is about Obama, who's Renegade R, and then the other one is +++, and Trump says massive energy and military orders happening, and we just showed the Department of Energy with QDrop 48. So there's the full circle.
What if I told you, brother Kyle, that tweet that we just read earlier, or the truth from Trump, my fellow Americans, about this his speech tomorrow night, or not his speech, his announcement, which is a presidential announcement, very important stuff. The timestamp connects to a Q drop that has the +++.
Man, okay, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. If you look at his timestamp, I forget.
Bring it up here. So let me see if I can see this. I might have to have you guys help me decode. So it's 10:24. Not sure which time zone that is. My phone operational security. It might be Pacific. So that would be 1:24 a.m. Eastern time. That would probably make sense. That's the
1:24. 1:24.
It is then. All right. So we'll go into that one then next year. So let's finish the drop off though. Yep. Here we are. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
All right. So what agency is at war with clowns in America? How does POTUS shift narrative? New age of enlightenment, 80% covert, 20% public. What has occurred over the last several months? Classified info leaks, operations, think Saudi Arabia, plus question marks and a question mark after that. CNN sale. What companies REC large cash received? So what companies received large cash injections by clowns in America? Publicly known. Why? Who does it hurt? Who controls the mainstream media? Primary objective from beginning, POTUS discredit the mainstream media. Fake news.
Fake news.
Why is this relevant? How is information transmitted? How are people informed? Why was Sarah A. Carter attacked? Hack attempt. Sarah, there's Sarah Carter was big with Solomon. Yeah, in the early days. Why was Operation Mockingbird repeated? Why was Jason Bourne CIA/Dream repeated? Think social media platforms. Who are the wizards and warlocks? What council do the wizards and warlocks control? Think Snowden. Inside terms dropped. Alice in Wonderland. Understood? Snow White. Understood. Iron Eagle. Godfather 3. Speed. Everything has meaning. Disney is a distraction. Senate and Congress equals puppets. Not all. Power shift. For God and country. For humanity. Geronimo. Q.
Nice. Wow, that one's such a load one again. That's Q Drop 144. It's just loaded with so much too. We got the Patriots don't sleep, the 40,000 foot view. I think that's the first time it's mentioned. Maybe not. Maybe I can't quite remember, but yeah, I think it is. And then 144. Yeah, we got the Q group in there. No such agency. Plus ADMR. Clowns in America. Who's that, Tim?
That would be the C_A in the Q drops.
CIA. So he said that's a nickname for the CIA clowns in America. Okay, that's why no such agency was National Security Agency, but there was another no such agency. But let's call them the Space Force now. And interesting. Tim taught me this a long time ago to look up if something in the kill box. Try just searching that too. So let's just do that one real quick. We'll search it on another QAG here. I'll try God and Country just by itself, but spelled exactly like that. I'm searching over on QAG too. Again, might have different numbers on Q alerts, and we get 21, close to 17, but not quite there. So 21 Q jobs, God and Country. This would probably be like a lot of military stuff with these, obviously too.
What's it in gematria? What's the God and Country of gematria also?
All right, let's try that. Oh, I didn't go to this next tab where it showed the 21. Sorry, guys. There's the 21. I was still stuck on the other page there. So let's go to Gematrinator. And we'll try both since I have the symbol in there. The symbol won't get counted on this on Gematrinator. So God and without and country, God country is 142. That's like 124 mixed around. And then if you do and, it's 161. But if it's God with the symbol, it's 142.
Okay.
So I think we'll show that with the 124 Q drop coming up. So then here's the True Social. I think I just showed that. So it's 10:24 Pacific, but and that still dropped to 0 is 124 Eastern time. It comes out to 124. Check out when you see, like Tim kind of already mentioned it, but we'll go to QDrop 124. And there it is. It's on 11/7. So we got 117 on there on the date, 2017. 18, there's the R. 34 is Q plus or Q clearance Patriot. 17
and my fellow Americans, Q drop 55, which we haven't read yet. Oh
yes, and the 55, and that's still on another string of stuff too. And all it is plus. First time we see the plus, and then plus. It's actually the very first Q drop with plus. And 124, Kyle Hansen, Simple English Gematria 124. So that's a fun one. All right, so back to our other list here. Tim just crushed also 49 with Follow Grassley. And then here's 55 following up, and we just saw that with that timestamp there. So go ahead and do 55 now, Tim, for everybody. And look at that timestamp and the Q drop that we just did.
Oh, come on. You can't make this up, you guys.
We just did Q drop 144. There's the timestamp with the military for Q drop 55 is 14:44. And then there's the 21 too. There's 21 God and Country Q drops.
Wow. Oh, wow. And it says, look to Twitter, but think truth also. Exactly this, my fellow Americans. And Trump's truth said, my fellow Americans. And this Q drop says, the storm is upon us, ... God bless. But the previous Q drop with Grassley in it, go to the bottom of Q drop 49 with Grassley in it. Because Grassley's all of a sudden in the news.
Here's the bottom of 49.
Or no, it was a 48. Which one had the storm? 48.
Oh yeah, the calm before the storm.
There it is, right there. The calm before the storm, and then you have the storm is upon us. So, a couple of storm references in there.
Yeah, and Q drop 34 has it right there too. My fellow Americans, Q drop 34 had that in there.
Interesting.
So like I wanted to show this too. Watch Q drop 34, and then we went 14 drops later to Q drop 48, and then it was 14 drops later, and it's also 14 hours, 48 minutes, 14 seconds later. So all those comes. But if you do
state secrets,
state secrets, yes, too, because that's Q drop 14. That's what Tim's referencing there. So if we do 34-14, that's at the bottom here. Q drop 34-14, and look, it's a mirror. It's a 7-11 instead of 11-07, like the Q drop 124 we just did with plus in there. 00-25-45 on the timestamp. Only anons can fully appreciate the continued validations and confirmations through covert series of mathematically impossible coincidences means in order to maintain structural integrity. Wheels up. Q. There's only two Q drops with wheels up. They're right back to back. I think it's 34-15 next. And there's a company with, I think, Ron Burkle that flies a bunch of rich assholes around the world to islands, and they got flight logs and shit like that. And this dude's buddy with Bill Clinton. Maybe we'll get some of those files exposed, since those wouldn't connect to intelligence operations. More likely it's a private company.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. We're just getting warmed up too, man.
Just getting started, y'all. Get your oxygen tanks on.
All right, so let's go back down to let's see if we can piece this together. Go back to Diggers. Go down to the bottom of Diggers, brother, and let's see what Grassley posted while we were already in session here live. The first part of the show. This is what Grassley dropped from grassley.senate.gov, right from the source. Trust Grassley. It's at the bottom of Diggers, Kyle.
Okay. Where are we going here? Oh, Diggers. Okay.
Yep. And what we're covering, guys, is just some of the breaking news in the last 17 hours. I'm going to say 17 hours, but a little more like 24. Well, yeah, about 17 hours and less. This is all the stuff that's coming out in a freaking fire hose right now. We're going to play a couple of those clips too. That's from this morning. We can play a couple of these.
Okay.
But the Grassley one's at the bottom, brother, right at the very bottom.
There's the one that we just showed there too, my fellow Americans, and then there's with the Eastern timestamp, 1:24 p.m., December 16th. Sue also.
And there's about 20 some drops with seeing in it too. I did a quick search on seeing, like because of the quotations.
SEEING with the ing in there, which is odd. Yep. Oh, I read that one already too. A very steep price. Liars and cheats, political hacks. 219 on that one.
As soon as we dropped QSCHQL, he dropped that, guys. Just saying.
Yep. Okay, and then here we go. So here's this document I think Tim's talking about. Let's see here. Received shocking new docs today from DOJ and FBI showing FBI did not believe it had probable cause to raid President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, but Biden Department of Justice pushed for it anyways. Okay, so Tim's already said that multiple times there. Y'all seen it directly from Chuck Grassley. Based on the records, Mar-a-Lago raid was a miscarriage of justice. Read for yourself at grassley.senate.gov/ all that crap there. Declassify on. I wonder when that would be transitory record. I'm sure you guys get the gist of it. They didn't think. I don't really want to read through all that. Let's see though. Anything important that we need to hit on that?
Well, what's important about this is that they have it. They have it all, right? This is now being publicly disclosed to show how upside down and how corrupt the FBI and DOJ was under the red pill Biden administration, right? The corruption. And this is from the Senate Judiciary Committee, which Chuck Grassley heads, right? Trust Grassley. What do we got here? December 16th.
So this is just Department of Justice to the Honorable Charles Chuck Grassley, Chairman. But it says, Dear Chairman Grassley, this letter provides a response to the Committee on the Judiciary's letter to the FBI's November 21st, 2025, and their investigation, or is the FBI, regarding the FBI search on Mar-a-Lago, August 8th, 2023. Oh, it's 2023. Is that right? I thought it was 2022. Can we double check that, guys? I don't think it's 2023. I could be wrong, but I feel like that was 2022. Can we double check that? Find out. That's gonna be interesting if that's
question everything. I love it.
Director Patel is leading the FBI towards increased transparency with Congress in order to restore trust, and we hope this production assists in that regard. Today's production relates to our investigation into the alleged mishandling of classified information by then former President Trump. Today's production contains minimal actions to protect certain personally identifiable information and law enforcement sensitive information. The FBI is available to engage with the committee to address any questions regarding these limited redactions. Please note that this production may contain law enforcement sensitive materials, yada, yada, yada. And such. Although we welcome providing this material, the Department of Justice and the FBI do not waive any applicable privilege that might otherwise apply to these documents, especially with respect to third parties, or whatever that's all about. Yada yada yada. There's the official yada yada. We're investigating this situation with they didn't have probable cause, so these assholes didn't have the right to do that search and seizure. Just like they shouldn't on any other citizen, but they shouldn't do it on the former president. That's how powerful these guys are. That's why Trump says, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in their way. So we got to send him our love and back him as well, too, because he's fighting for the little man, as odd as that might sound to some people that don't understand the whole movie here.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to Steve Bannon and John Solomon this morning. So you got to scroll up a little ways. Let me see here. Yeah, back to back. We got back to back, Jack.
Okay, so we'll play a couple clips there. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, because one of them is about Mar-a-Lago. The top one is about Mar-a-Lago, and then the one underneath it is about Uranium One. And this will tie them all together. So
Uranium One, 5 minutes, and then this one, Mar-a-Lago. Which one first?
Mar-a-Lago first, because we just did the Grassley. Like this is now bouncing off. Grassley's bouncing off Solomon and vice versa, because Solomon was on earlier this morning talking about Mar-a-Lago. Now Grassley drops the documents, right, which is public exposure, public viewing, which is the 20% public part of that Q drop that we read in Q drop. What number was that again?
That was 144, I think. The 80% public, or 80% covert, 20% public, 144.
Yeah. So again, this is for us to digest, right? This is for us to consume, digest, understand what's coming. And of course, John Solomon's already talked about the grand juries that have been already impaneled, set up, and witnesses now. When it comes to witnesses, Grassley's the go-to guy for witnesses. All these years, folks, every single witness has to go through Grassley. Hence, trust Grassley. So this is where all behind the scenes investigative work has been working, and this is the information that goes to the grand juries. The grand juries then decide, based on the investigative work that's presented to them, whether it's going to be a civil trial or an enemy combatant military trial.
Wow,
this is the big stuff. This is the conspiracy.
Who decides that? Who decides that?
The grand jury says, "Hey, guys, this is over our heads. Let the military take this one." And then they'll look at another package of investigative work and say, okay, we can handle this one civilly. This is civil. This is military.
How does the grand jury, when they say impanel a grand jury, does that mean they have evidence and then they get people just like regular jury members, and then they present the evidence, and if there's enough evidence of it just even having close to probable cause or something, then they will indict the person? Is that basically the gist?
In a nutshell, they go forth with the trial. Yeah, and now depending on the significance of the investigative and the information by the investigative committee and FBI and DOJ and everybody else, I mean all the whistleblower stuff, then the grand jury was presented all the information. They have to ultimately decide, with the help of the judge, of course, but whether this is going to be a civilian trial going forward, or is it going to be given to the military for a military trial? Because there is a difference. And that brings us back to the Graham and Kavanaugh Q drop, which talks about the difference between civilian and military, which is the enemy combatants clause. And we're right in the middle of it. We're right there.
I know.
We're right on the cusp.
It's crazy. It made me think of something, but I lost track of it. So we'll watch these videos here, and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, let's listen to Solomon and Bannon there for a second, then we'll.
There we go. Perfect.
How can we talk? I want you to talk briefly about the two breaking stories you got on the Clintons, but how can we get justice if the president can't even get his team, man, and we're almost 1 year into this thing, sir?
Well, the most contemporaneous thing we have, and it just broke a bit this morning, is that the Justice Department and FBI are about to turn over a tranche of emails showing that the Justice Department, the Biden Justice Department, did not have probable cause, did not meet the standard for a search warrant when they raided President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. That is significant. Why? It's in the statutory limit. It is prosecutable in the state of Florida, so you're not dealing with Virginia or Washington or New York jurors. And it could lead to both criminal charges against the prosecutors if they misled the court, or civil litigations where the president sues his own Justice Department saying, you violated my Fourth Amendment right against illegal search and seizure. And so those are really, this is a significant, this may be the most important document today.
This a blockbuster. You're telling me there actually exists communications between people that showed that they didn't have probable cause, which, remember, back in August that year, there was I think it was 21, there was this whole firestorm about this. And they went on TV every night and said that. You're saying they not only they had a discussion behind it, they actually went out and lied about it in media every single day on MSNBC and in the New York Times.
Well, here's the real question. We're going to have to find out what they represented to the judge to get that search warrant signed, because the FBI, the Washington field office of the FBI, which, by the way, was no fan of Donald Trump's. They were behind January 6th. They were behind Russia collusion. They were telling the Biden Justice Department there was not a probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago. That is a significant. These are emails and memos from inside the Washington field office of the FBI, an anti-Trump field office. That is a really significant memo. We haven't seen the documents yet. We know what they generally say, but we're going to see. They're going to get turned over to Grassley in Jordan today, and then Jack Smith's on the Hill tomorrow for a deposition. If he shows up, I'm sure he's going to be confronted by these documents.
Are you implying that Merrick Garland then made the decision against facts that they didn't have probable cause, this all the way up to Merrick Garland, sir?
Well, we don't know who approved the search warrant request, so those are important things. We got to get those documents unmasked in the court. But now we're getting a sense of it. I think the package that comes out today will give us new characters, new players, and new opportunities to get to the bottom of this. But this potentially is prosecutable. It could be a disbarable offense if you lied as a lawyer. And, of course, it gives President Trump a tort that could be pretty significant on the civil side.
Unbelievable. John, can you hold on for 1 second? I just want
Oh boy, hold on. 6 o'clock will be dangerous. I can't wait to see John Sullivan tonight at 6 o'clock. He'll probably be on. He'll be on with Bannon at 5 probably, but yeah, Sullivan's at 6 o'clock with his own news show. But yeah, this is all unfolding, and Kyle just read parts of that document that John Sullivan was talking about this morning. So there it is for public. There's your bone to chew on, brothers and sisters, and all you Q-tards out there. This is news unlocking the map right here, right now in real time. On December 16th, the Lord's year 2025, Kyle. Nothing kept better than this.
Right? It's crazy. And then the numbers, numbers been doing crazy. I mean, for anybody like y'all getting signs and symbols, I'm sure. But while you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you. I saw 117.17, and then just when we got back, it was 144 too. We just did that Q drop. So pretty wild, man. Pretty wild.
It is, yeah. Okay, so that's the Grassley stuff. So we're going to see more of that unfold later today or this evening. Obviously, for those of you who don't know how to get there, go to Real America's Voice. Steve Bannon's on every morning at 10 a.m. for 2 hours. Then he comes back at 5 o'clock, and John Sullivan hits the 6 o'clock hour. 6 o'clock can be dangerous. So there's your there's your go-to source. I've been using it for years. I've always followed that pattern. That's where I get a lot of this breaking news stuff, and it does connect most times with the Q Intel board. It's amazing how it unfolds, and now we're in real time. RT and the Q drops, real time breaking news, and it's unfolding. It's unlocking the map, brother. So the next clip that we're about to watch now, this is where we're going to get into this part of the Q school is going to be freaking mind blowing, because now we're talking about the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One, and we gave you a little bit of a taste test at the beginning of the show, Kyle. A couple of drops there that we hit. Talked about Clinton Foundation and Uranium One, but now what we're going to do is we're going to cross-reference those particular Q drops with the breaking news that John Sullivan breaks this morning about this investigation. It's a conspiracy investigation, which means they go back like 10 plus years or whatever. So it's perfect timing. And of course, another impaneled grand juries. There's all kinds of grand juries set up, guys, just so you know, behind the scenes. No leaks, which is the key, right? Which brings in, that brings in Huber, the team of 470, the investigators. Like this goes way back, guys. Durham, Bill Barr, Sessions, Huber, Horowitz, the IG report, all in the Q drops. Every single one of it.
All of it. It's all right there. Some kid in the basement just happened to know everything that was going to play out over the next 8 years. You know how they are, those kids, silly kids.
Yeah, always in pajamas too, eh? Got to wear those pajamas.
Right. All right, so we ready to play the Uranium One clip?
Yeah, let's get into it, man, because there's a lot of Q drops, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to rifle through those, and they're big ones too. They're juicy fruit ones, but we're going to do a QA cross. Kyle's going to show you how to cross reference U1 Uranium One with CF, which is Clinton Foundation. Let's see where the connections are now, and this is what's going to be breaking.
Okay, here we go. Next one up here, we got Bannon. Take notes. Just Bannon on, just John Solomon on this one.
No, you have to go to the one. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, that's the one. Uranium One. Yep.
All right. So, it looks like Bannon is on that one too. Okay.
People should know John, is privy to a lot of information. You're being quite reserved about this going all the way up to Merrick Garland to approve a raid on a president of the United States, sir. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we know that Merrick Garland knew about the raid. Whether he was told that the FBI had objected to the lack of probable cause and that this was not a lawful raid, not clear yet. We'll see what these documents say, and that's going to lead to some new questioning. I don't think we'll get an answer in the first batch of documents. My FBI sources don't know whether Merrick Garland was told of the objections. Clearly, the line prosecutors were, and that's what these emails are going to discuss. So I think we got to wait for the documents. These are very legitimate questions, and this is a really serious matter. You raided the Republican candidate's home as the opposition party, and you may have done so over the objections of the FBI. And in violation of the standard for search warrants, which is you have to have probable cause. Those are big things. Now, the Democrats will say, but we found documents. That doesn't matter. Just because you found something doesn't mean that you had the right to go find it. And that's, I think, we're finding a very big moment. Jim Jordan, Chuck Grassley going to be key players in getting to the bottom of this, along with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, who found these documents.
John, in previous lives, in a land far away in a time long, long ago, Peter Schweitzer, John Solomon, Stephen K. Bannon, we were all over
Clinton
collectively
Cash.
The Clinton Cash and the Clinton family and the Clinton family and Uranium One and Russians. You got another piece up. My head's blown up again. When are we going? Is the statute of limitations run out on these crooks who sold us out to the Russians, sir?
Well, we'll see if there are contemporaneous questions about the finances of the Clinton Foundation. It could open up a conspiracy case. But what we learned in the last 24 hours is that there was evidence of pay to play all the way back to 2010. And specifically when the Clinton Cash book came out, when you were talking about it, when I was doing my reporting and we found Doug Campbell, the undercover informant, the Clinton family said, no, no concern there. Everything's fine. It's a conspiracy theory. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. It turns out the Little Rock U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI had an ongoing investigation looking at the transfer with the help of President Clinton and Mrs. Clinton of uranium in Canada and on U.S. soil to Russia, to Rosatom, to Vladimir Putin. They were looking at it as
what did he just say, Cal? Was it, bro?
I'm going to predict that
that was a cute. What was that? You brought it up. You brought up the Rosatom, the Uranium One with the Canadian Pride. What was that Q drop again?
Which one? That was 48, I think, right? No, wait, what was that? Is that hold on. Hold on.
That's the one. That's the one you read. We'll go back to John Sullivan in a second, but almost word for word everything you just said prior to that playing that clip, and you didn't even watch John Sullivan this morning. I'm just saying.
I know it. I know it.
How did a kid in the basement with pajamas, Kyle, undercover white hat, know all this information?
Where the heck was that drop? Guys, help us out on that one. I thought that's one of the earlier drops, and then
Canadian Prime Minister. You read it. It was
okay,
one of the first batch of
We'll just search that. We'll just search that. Let's go. Help us out, because I got the group here where we had 34, 48, 49, 55, and it wasn't any of those. Oh no, it was 48. Okay, it is 48. It's below the Obama part. So I always thought this was like the last paragraph right here, but it's right here. Who is the enemy? Let's see. What did the Russia reset really provide? Clearance and pathway to complete the Uranium One deal. Why is the Canadian Prime Minister so important? They never thought they were going to lose the calm before the storm. So, like we just showed there, is like I said, he mentioned Putin and stuff. So I'll back it up just a second on the video there. So just like this part we were showing there, the Russia reset. Again, always Russia's the enemy, and then really they were this pathway with this Uranium One situation. So
what's the date of this Q drop? Go to the top of the Q. Well, let's just let everybody know so they can see the date of this Q drop.
November 2nd, 2017. Q drop 48. The second one with Q clearance in there.
I wonder if we did a time thing. What is the difference in amount of days, years and days from that date to today's date?
All right. Well, where's a good place to go do that at, Tim?
So I think it's called time and date stamp or something.
Timeanddate.com. Tim's on fire. Look at him out. He's a digger extraordinaire, guys. He knows what time it is. So let's go to that. I'll just open a new tab.
Just for shits and giggles, let's see what the time difference is, because that's breaking news this morning, right? John Sullivan, he said it was in the last 24 hours. And also, while Kyle's digging that up, a real good go-to source, not only to watch John Sullivan on Real America's Voice at 6 o'clock, but go to Just the News, and you can, and maybe we'll get Kyle to bring up that report that he's talking about, and we'll go through it a little bit, because you're going to see a lot of things that connect with the Q drops, also with Uranium One and that. So you're going to see how closely tied John Sullivan is to this Q Intel board for so many years, guys. But Just the News, just type in Just the News. That's John Sullivan's investigative team and himself that put out daily reports on all of this breaking news stuff. He seems to be obviously one of those Q clearance patriot kind of guys. Wink, wink, nod, nod, just saying.
Seems like he knows some things. For sure there. So back to timeanddate.com real quick. So I just basically showed you all the steps. You got to scroll down a little bit, hit date-to-date calculator, start date 11/2/2017, end date. Did you want yesterday or today, Tim?
I think we'll go with today, because he's breaking the news today. We'll try today. Do you include the date on this one or not?
No, usually it's days in between, always on those that you include pretty much on people's age and stuff when you're doing that.
I wonder what the answer is. What do you think it is? It's definitely 8 years.
I just peeked at it here. So there it is. 2,966 days. So was that 11 and 12, 23.
8 years, 1 month, 14. There's your 14 days.
And then 14 days, 97 months, 14 days also too. So interesting. A long time ago. And here it is, full circle in the news here. So I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Okay. I'll hear him say just exactly what kind of the rest of that Q drop was there.
Hoorah.
Campbell, the undercover informant. The Clinton family said, no, there, no concern there. Everything's fine. It's a conspiracy theory. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. It turns out the Little Rock U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI had an ongoing investigation looking at the transfer with the help of President Clinton and Mrs. Clinton of uranium in Canada and on U.S. soil to Russia, to Rosatom, to Vladimir Putin. They were looking at it as a possible pay-to-play bribery scheme. And I'm going to predict that there is a smoking gun still to be released. We've got to get the president to do this. But I'm going to guess, based on the documents I saw yesterday, that either the Justice Department or the FBI raised an objection to the CFIUS. That's the board that approves sensitive transactions. Hillary Clinton has always said no one objected. I'm going to bet that there was an objection based on what I've seen in these documents, and we got to go get that declassified. But I think all the stories we're telling about Uranium One, the only ones that were true were the ones Peter Schweitzer, you and I reported on. The stories the Clintons and the Democrats gave us, completely bogus.
John Solomon, this takes bodies. We need bodies at Main Justice. I'm hearing it all the time from the FBI. Yeah. We need dozens and dozens more lawyers. I understand conservative law firms are going to block them if they work. But this blue slip, President Trump needs to field a team. He can't do it, and he's going crazy about this.
Yeah,
what's your advice to the president on this? What's your advice to the president on this, sir?
I think he's got to bring the Senate club into his office and have a private conversation and say, listen, the Democrats are going to eviscerate all these things you're clinging to today. They're old legacies. The American public don't want to hear about legacy. They want to hear about action. And you haven't given me my staff. You haven't given me a lot of my legislation. If we lose the 26th election, you'll have a 15 Justice Supreme Court stacked with liberals, and the country will be blown away. He's just got to lay a bottom line argument onto these guys that while it's great to hold on to tradition, this isn't that moment. We're in war. We're in a wartime footing. And it is time to take care of the things that the American people want. There are lots of warning signs in the polls. And what's remarkable is that President Trump has pretty much done everything he said he was going to do. But the failure of Congress to get its part of the job done is what's dragging the Republican Party down, demoralizing the base. And Donald Trump needs to go right to the source of the problem. Bring in those senators, understand, listen to them, hear them out, and then say, listen, I'm asking you to treat this as a moment of war, and we got to overcome these obstacles. And you guys find a way, either change the rules or make deals with Democrats. But I need the following things done by January 15th. And if they can't do it, then he campaigns against his own.
All right, if he can't do it.
That's huge. That in particular, what John Solomon's talking about too is another topic that we've discussed here for a couple of months now, and that is the filibuster. There's going to be another government shutdown, folks. Don't kid yourself, because of the shenanigans going on with the dirty D's. The dirty D's done dirt cheap. You know, remember the show last week, you guys. But what Trump is pushing for, and it reminds me of that Q drop 14 of all Q drops, state secrets is in there. But when has POTUS ever made a statement that did not become fact or true, or fact/true? He wants the filibuster gone, and he also wants that blue thing gone. And that's how it's going to unfold, folks, because once you remove the filibuster in the House and the Senate, now you only need 51 votes to push through everything that Trump needs to push through to gear up for the midterm elections. This is how we set the stage. This is how we get this rocking and rolling. And we need that midterm election. It's the most important election for everybody that lives in the United States of America. Don't kid yourself. If you guys lose that election, kiss your asses goodbye, because the Democrats will, like John Solomon said, they'll use the filibuster, and they will stop President Trump for the next 2 years on anything he's trying to do, which is, and again, on the flip side, think mirror, the reason we need to win that midterm election and in a landslide, and I think that's the direction we're going, because they're cleaning the voter rolls, they're eliminating the mail-in voting, they're going after the machines, they're cleaning up the census, and a lot of these congressmen and there's a lot of resignations. We talked about track resignations, right? The Q drops have told us, Kyle, how many resignations. There's going to be a lot of open seats, and we've got the redistricting of maps battle going on too on the sidelines. So all these additional seats, Bannon thinks like 20 to 25 extra seats in the House and the Senate. That makes a difference. Plus all of us voting, plus free and fair elections with paper ballots and voter ID, no illegal immigrants anywhere to be found at the midterm elections. That's a red wave. That's a tsunami, folks. And if we get 2/3 in the House and 2/3 in the Senate, everything gets passed. It'll be like a fucking fire hose going through, with all Trump's executive orders all become law of the land. They're, revamping the Constitution of the United States, because it's been fucked with for decades and decades. We've talked about that. So this is where we're heading, guys. 10 months, a little over 10 months now, 10 plus months to the midterm elections. And that's exactly what John Sullivan was talking about. So what we're going to see, honestly, Kyle, we believe this here in Q School, that this unrolling and unmasking and public exposure of now You've got 2020 election shit coming out. You've got Clinton Foundation shit just starting to come out. Uranium One shit starting to come out. J6 burning the books stuff coming out. Like look at trace these events. Like watch it all coming out together at the same time.
All simultaneously, right?
Simultaneously. This is the key. Simultaneously, as we go into the Durham boat crossing the Delaware on Christmas Eve, Q drop 14, I might add, into the new year, which there's a good possibility of another government shutdown. But man, oh man, remove the filibuster and the blue chip shit that because that's
blue slip.
Blue chip, blue slip, yeah.
Blue slip.
It's doing it's preventing Trump bringing in those lawyers, the investigate like that team that John Sullivan just said and Bannon was just alluding to. They need more patriots, more lawyers, more this and that. Why would they need more? Because of all the grand jury investigations that have been going on for, what did John Sullivan say? For quite some time. He even alluded to Little Rock, where Clintons are from. They were investigating that shit back then, guys. This goes way back, like they said, 2010 stuff. So that's 15 years ago, guys. This is all coming out. It's going to come out in like a massive flood. And really, I think that's what's going to flip the tables. The Democrats won't have a leg to stand on. They won't be able to spin any of it because it's all being done, no leaks, through grand jury, impaneled juries, and the investigative team working behind the scenes with no. It's just beautiful. To me, it's finally we're getting to that point this time in history where you're going to see the results. You're going to start seeing justice, and you're going to see the pathway for we the people to take our power back. And finally, for once in the 250 years of the United States of America, get that ship back on track and the way it was rightfully presented by the founding fathers of the United States of America on the Bill of Rights and the original Constitution. That's where we're heading.
Amen. Amen. Kind of all these things we're talking about here. It looks like we got some good stuff going on in the chat. Thank you guys. Also, yesterday too, Erin, I don't think she's been on today. Erin, Rob Reiner had the expo. So we covered Rob Reiner a little bit yesterday, but I missed the Q drop with Rob Reiner, and it tied into everything we talked about. Tim was like, "What'd you guys talk about yesterday?" Like sometimes when the show's done, it's like it's all gone. But I know we covered Adam Schiff. A lot of the deltas were pointing to that. But this Rob Reiner post, if we get time today, we'll try to show that. And I think we're going to show some more stuff with gold in the financial system tomorrow too. So if you guys have any digs ready, I see General Apex made over here, digger extraordinary. He's over on the Rumble chat with our other friends doing their thing. So thank you guys for all that you do. Scott said that we've had watermark ballots for a long time. Kind of makes sense for sure, but at least implementing in all the places that it can't be hijacked.
Well, that's probably part of that's what I call the trap, the Trump trap card or whatever you call it. They trapped them years and years ago with all the fraud. That's just one segment, one part of it. You got the machines, you got the printed ballots that came in from China in freaking pallets on airplanes. You got what's that company, Runback, that's in the Q drops, that just prints out all kinds of ballots and different size papers. I mean, all this stuff, they've tracked and traced it all, guys. I mean, it's now, they've got it all. Q says we have it all. We have it all. It's just a matter of how can we bring it to the public? How can you present it to the public? You have to do it through grand jury. You have to do it according to the law. It has, and Q alludes to that a lot. It has to be done right. We have one chance. It has to be done according to the law, right? And we're seeing how many corrupt judges are in the system. So we know the judicial system's been infiltrated. We know all the different systems. We've talked about that for years here on Q School, the infiltration. Now we're seeing them panic because now you got killings, shootings, stabbings, people throwing acid on young girls walking in a park. I mean, everything is coming undone right now, unfortunately. Sometimes you can't tell the people the truth. You must what?
Show them. Got to show them. Slap them in the face and show them. See if they understand that.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, yeah, that's my rant for today. I think we're on the right track, you guys. It's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to stay in the know and get activated if you're not already activated. Get involved in your local areas and as far as the upcoming votes and become part of the system, you know, because you are the America first. You're the Q-tards. You're the ones that are you're the frontliners. You're the ones that are gonna take your fucking country back. Or you can sit on the couch and in your pajamas and eat cheesies all day. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, and complain, and you know, leave it up to somebody else. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's right.
Jacqueline over on YouTube had asked if we you Trump about posting My Fellow Americans. We did show that, the True Social post. Yep. It was at 1:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for popping in, Jacqueline. On YouTube. Yeah, plus. And then Scott asked, doesn't Grassley have a CCP wife? I don't think that's Grassley, right, Tim?
No, that would be you're thinking of the old fart turtle. Who's the turtle there in the Senate?
Oh, McConnell, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell's got the CCP. And she's got that big CCP shipping company there, and I'm sure a lot of corrupt ballots came in. Just saying.
Yeah,
they got them all. Right. They caught them. We caught them. We caught them all. Trump said.
We did catch them all. It looks like, and the Brunson stuff's coming back around too. Thanks for the guesses on the ST. I popped them up when Tim was talking there. Secret technology, space time, or school time. Scott dropped 3 of them. Pretty good. Still, Susan Calloway said state secrets, but that seems like that'd be SS, not ST. But thank you for the guess, though. Do love that. I think Jedi said shit throwing. So someone one time said ST. I was like, ooh, that might be it. Close, because there's one also with SD. I think that's State Department, but ST is always kind of.
Yeah, it's eluded me too. The ST.
It's an odd one.
Yeah,
it's an odd one.
Yeah.
So, okay. So thanks for all the comments, guys. Appreciate you. And then, do we have more on your end, Tim, or is that kind of everything?
I think. Okay. Where we gotten to now is where the important part now is to connect some dots. So let's go to the Q. Let's use QA and let's cross-reference the U1 with the CF. Okay. Show everybody how you bring those two together and see how many Q drops. Because I know independently, like on Q alerts, if you just type in U1 with a space, you're going to get 24 Q drops to read. And if you just put CF for Clinton Foundation with a space at the end, you're going to get 15 drops. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to combine the U1 with the CF on QA. QA allows us to put these two combinations together to see how many of them they cross-reference each other.
Okay, let me do the Q alert search you just said. I just want to see it myself. I think you did both of them on Q alerts. You said, right? So you did U1 first, correct? Or
U1 space. I always put a space at the end.
U1. Okay, so space, and I got 24. What was the number you had?
24.
Okay, 24 on Q alerts. We did have some different numbers on Q alerts from time to time, guys. So that's why I am asking. Let's bring this up here on the side.
And then the CF space, you should get 15. And there's that.
Okay, so now we're going to do CF for Clinton Foundation or clusterfucks of the CF space. And there it is, 15 drops. Okay, so the different spots those might be at. We're going to see.
One I didn't do is type in the whole word Clinton Foundation. How many drops with the actual full Clinton Foundation? Let's see if I can't remember. Clinton Foundation, full spelling.
22 drops. 22. One of 22, maybe. One of 22 with the Clinton Foundation.
Interesting.
Yeah, here's one with uranium 1 there with it. It wouldn't be the CF, but it has the Clinton Foundation with
U1. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go to QA? Let's use the U1 with CF and Clinton Foundation. Let's put all 3 together and see if we get any cross references amongst all these drops. Kyle, you're muted. I lost you.
I'm here.
Okay.
So I kind of want to see this drop because like I said it's got Clinton Foundation and uranium 1. So let's see the tweet from Hillary Clinton. We know her account's going to still be up right here. I want the public to see my email. I asked state to release them. They said they will review them for release as soon as possible. This is March 4th, Tim's birthday on 2015. How about that, Tim? Hillary Clinton said that she wants the public to see my email. Doesn't say emails. So which one?
Yeah, no kidding.
Charlie Kirk at Hillary Clinton.
Wow, Charlie.
Hello, yeah, we all believe you.
Wow.
Destroy with your cell phones, like all the people awake. There was some good ones. The screenshot of the one of the Q drops, or one of the was just showed how many people were attacking Trump. It was actually one of Trump's tweets, so y'all could see what the the atmosphere was like back in the day on the social medias, to have that strong enough will that every single person on Twitter is a libtard or a bot or something that made you really question, you know, if you're looking back on it, it was a minefield of just attacks. So there's Hillary Clinton's tweet there. That's shared. Look at this. It's 48-45 too. QJOP 48-45. We just showed QJOP 48. Of course, we have Trump 45. He's talking about running 2028. We know negative 48. Also, there's actually on Q alerts 48 Q plus drops. On QAG, it's 45 too. So other connections that stand out to me. And then 7 p.m. But at 3 minutes, 33 seconds, of course, the very first QJOP 0 Anon posted at 3:33 p.m. So that stands out to me also about Hillary Clinton. Okay, roger that. Madam Secretary, C equals classified state. Okay, she said, thought it meant
state secrets. Remember state secrets, QDrop 14.
Yep, state secrets. And this is interesting too. I think it was on the movie The Rock. I just watched the other day, but it was like, he's like, oh, so we're not, how do you say, they're not cowards, or like we're incompetent because they shot it off. That makes me think of this. She said, oh, I thought C meant confidential, not classified. So it's like, so you either didn't know what you're doing or you're lying. You know what I mean? So which one's worse? You know, are you liars or you incompetent? And then here's something from Business Insider. September 2nd, 2016, Hillary Clinton said she didn't know what the C marking in emails stood for. I was just talking about this. She played dumb. Let's see how dumb she can play. Hillary Clinton told investigators that she wasn't aware that a C marking in emails she received on her private server indicated the information was classified at the confidential level. Excuse me, that's what the C is, but that is a classification. Classified confidential level, according to document the FBI released on Friday. The State Department, state secrets, determined that one email chain contained information that is classified at the confidential level, according to the documents, but the emails apparently didn't contain any header or footer markings indicating that some information in the message was classified. FBI described what they found. Quote, the FBI identified 3 email chains encompassing 8 individuals' emails exchanges to or from Clinton's personal email accounts. Why were they going to her personal email accounts first place? Which contained at least one paragraph marked C, a marking ostensibly indicating the presence of information classified at the confidential level. So I think this isn't much longer. This is important to, I think, keep reading. I mean, yeah, it's not too much longer. So the State Department didn't specify whether information in the emails was classified at the time the messages were sent, but markings meant to indicate that the information is confidential suggest that it might have been. Although one email chain contained information that is classified, the other 2 chains referenced in the FBI documents are unclassified. When presented with the findings, Clinton told investigators that she wasn't aware of what the markings meant. From the FBI's notes, quote, Clinton stated she did not know what the C meant at the beginning of the paragraphs and speculated it was referencing paragraphs marked in alphabetical order. Sure, bitch. Just like you thought, wipe what? Wipe the server. What, with a cloth? Like a cloth? Just insulting our intelligence. Oh, my goodness. It just makes me want to smack somebody. The documents that the FBI released pertain to its investigation of Clinton's use of the server while she was Secretary of State. So why the fuck is she even using a personal email server in the first place? Let's ask that damn question. She is the Democratic nominee for president. Was the FBI did not recommend that the Justice Department file charges against Clinton for her use of the private server, but Director James Comey said that Clinton was, quote, extremely careless. Again, he changed it. It was grossly negligent, which is a crime. And he changed it to a non-legal term of extremely careless in handling classified information. And again, the media spins this whole thing like it was one document. I had that, like, shut the fuck up. 300,000 plus emails. This is scandalous shit. They pay for play, human trafficking, murders for hire. That's what the Clinton Foundation is about. Let's not pretend like it was one fucking email that said confidential that the bitch missed. Why would she lie about it then? Be like, oh, I missed the C in there. No, man, I thought it was alphabetical order. Shut the fuck up. We're done with the lies. Just like we said the other day. It's enough. We've had enough of this bullshit. We're done with the lies. We're going to call you out right to your fucking face about it. And we're had enough of this shit. Right? Full snippet of the FBI report. It says Hillary Clinton's a snake-ass, asshole, lying-ass bitch, and she should be killed for treason. I shouldn't say that.
Awesome.
Just for entertainment-only purposes, we are not violent here, you know. Whatever God's will is with that bitch, let it be done.
Yeah. Apex just brought up a really good point too. I'm going to add this into the show is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is the one that originated the Clinton Foundation. He was at the very beginning, and that ties
That
you
is
in.
a big job.
That ties you into that. That's where I got. Remember, in the summertime, we were doing QSCHQL, and I brought that full Huber and the team of 470. Like it started with Sessions, then Huber, and the ongoing investigation. So definitely Epstein is tied into all this too. He was one of the original founding members of the Clinton Foundation, guys.
Yeah, proud of it. Proud of it. Even says that, you know, he helped do that. I think that we showed the article.
It's in the Q drop. It's in the Q drop.
In the Q drops. I know it says the link from the Q drops right there too. So this is interesting though. JP Morgan, because again, the video I was going to play, but I think we'll cover it. We'll cover it tomorrow, is the gold stuff, the financial stuff. X22 does a great recap of all this, but JP Morgan Chase in particular is the one that owns all the silver. And again, the executive order 13818 really seems like we've been in control of them for a very long time. They are now longing silver, so they think silver is going to keep going up. They basically kept it artificially low for their benefit in other companies, but the other end, they're like the largest stakeholder in the silver, so it's going to go up. Kind of wild to see how that's going to play out. But JP Morgan specifically was the one that X22 signed out multiple times, and there it is, JP Morgan popping up in the news connected to Epstein, and also Trump brought up JP Morgan. Now the JP Morgan, here it comes with the financial stuff too. So you see how POTUS, Q team, and everyone, they nod, they point us in directions to see, they give us the map, right? The Q drops are the map. We decipher them to make the legend and read the map and understand it. And then the news unlocks the map, and we connect the dots, and we follow POTUS and Q team and Anons. And this is really how we understand what's going on out there. Nobody knows exactly what's what. Nobody knows the time or day. I truly believe it'll actually be triggered by our own consciousness. That would make the most sense, wouldn't it, guys? So anybody out there that's complaining about timeline, you are intimately connected to it. You can't be separate from this timeline. So if it's not here yet, it's something you haven't done on the inside yet. And if you're out of alignment and you feel like you're upset that it's not done yet, something's out of alignment in you. So start every time you point the finger at someone, you're pointing 3 back at yourself. Get yourself in alignment. Get in the ball game, man. We got shit to do here. We got a lot of work to do. So stop fucking around.
And think mirror is there's multiple meanings in think mirror. It's not think opposite. Sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror, and starting every morning while you're brushing your teeth or combing your hair, look yourself in the eyes and ask yourself if you're doing the right things for humanity today, if you're actually making a difference in the world today, if you're going to participate today and do and not be the black pillar, not be the worry word, don't be the what's that word what's that word, Kyle, about the Patriots?
Sunshine Patriot.
There's not one, but what's the other one? The ones that are always worrying.
Fagas, fake magas, the panicans.
Panicans, that's the one. Don't be a panican. Yeah, you have to trust. You got to trust the plan, but trust yourself first, right? Once you trust yourself and your own knowledge, your own research, and you start trusting yourself. Obviously, you have to trust yourself and everything. Then you can start trusting others, including trusting the plan, because this plan has been going on for a long time, and you are all part of it. We're all Q, whether you want to believe that or not. We're all part of it. And we are going to change this world. It doesn't matter what country you live in right now, where you're coming from. Most importantly, right now, the United States, because if the U.S. falls, what happens?
The world falls.
That's right.
The world will follow. But that also means if the America stands strong and brings down the cabal, it means we're going to bring that mother effer down for the whole world, baby. The whole world's watching.
Yep. Yeah. And their power and their wealth becomes our power and our wealth. It's just nice little pendulum swing there for you. So let's go to QA. I'm running out of time, but I want to see the U1, the CF, and possibly the Clinton Foundation all attached in the Q drops. I'm really curious.
Let's give it a shot here too.
Yep.
And Jules over on
Yep.
And Jules over on Instagram there, or Terrence is talking about President Trump's going on tour. He loves his rallies. Of course, it shows all the excitement. It's a great way to meet people also too, to experience it too. If anybody missed it too, and now's your chance again to get in there. And Jules though said, I met him at a tiny indoor rally. I'm a magazine with him too in 2016 and and he thanked me. Maybe me say it got signed. I guess let me show what I'm showing here. And Jules, shout out to Ann Jules. She's always watching QSCHQQL over on Instagram Music. Thank you. And then it was supposed to happen 6 months prior, but the email I got from the Secret Service asked us to be there really early that day. I manifested, meeting him. You're so right, honored. His announcement's going to be on the 17th also. So anyways, good stuff from the friends over there on Instagram. Thank you guys. But let's try to do the search on X now that Tim was looking for. So specifically on QAG, you can search 2 different things. So we're going to do
or 3, right? You can search unlimited, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can search as many as you want. This one's a little more rare, kind of specific to QAG. But yes, you could do a third thing. Well, actually, let's do this one. Here's a good one. We'll do like Ukraine. If you want to see Ukraine, but also that has Russia in it, you do it like that. And then you could also do China. And the see how many Q drops have Ukraine, Russia, and China. And boom, then you see there's 3 drops with those 3 things in there. So you can find some really good information on that when these type of topics are coming up. So that's just one example. So Ukraine, China, Iraq, Iran opens the door far beyond the Biden family. Lots of juicy stuff there. That's on the 17th of 2020. What's that, 48? So there's some good stuff on that one. But now we're going to just do CF and uranium 1. Oh, you know what? We didn't finish the other drop though, Tim. I was caught halfway. So right here, this one had Clinton Foundation spelled out. We did on Q alerts, and then I happened to see uranium 1 in it. So we're going to finish this one. So there was her tweet where she said, I want the public to see my emails, yada, yada. Roger that, Madam Secretary. C equals classified state. So then basically there's the Business Insider talking about what the FBI did on it. And then the rest of the Q drop says Clinton Foundation in the kill box plus Soros, journalists, director, DIR, what is that? Journalist, DIR, Africa, SA, maybe that's South America or South Africa on that one. Who knows? Or maybe Saudi Arabia still. SAPs, that's special access programs. That's your highest classification. Okay, your most secret programs. They're compartmentalized. China, Russia, uranium 1, Hussein, again, DIR. I'm assuming director, but maybe there's something else there. Hussein D direction, or maybe directed by Benghazi. Muslim Brotherhood, I would guess here. CIA assets, crimes against humanity. This is the Clinton Foundation. ... Route Huma. There's Huma Abedin. CC, probably the CC on the emails to Wiener backup. Okay, so yeah, Huma Abedin routed everything that Hillary Clinton was doing over to Wiener's private laptop because they blackmail all these people. So all the dirt was on the Wiener laptop. That's why it's called the laptop from hell. Okay, and then Q says nothing is ever truly deleted. Threats, blackmail, and bribes. So that was last night. You dropped 4845.
Oh, brother, go to Diggers for a second. We skipped by the Paul Sperry breaking news about McCabe, number 2 in the Q drops. Let's go back to Diggers.
Okay, and I did see that. Did you put it again at the bottom or it's up a ways?
It's up 3. Third one up from the bottom. Third one up, bro. Let's quickly show everybody this one. That was dropped yesterday morning, 10:51 a.m. by Paul Sperry.
Okay. And if you guys are following us over on Telegram on our Digger channels where we drop all of the stuff we're doing on the show, it's just t.me/QS Diggers. QS Diggers. We've showed you some of the different links. But if you do join, make sure you click the little thing at the bottom. When you join there, when you click the join button, this will pop up immediately. Make sure you click this button to let them know that's your human. Anybody joining our QSCHQL Diggers, you want to see where we do our drops and decodes or any of our other channels. Sometimes you'll get that automatic message. So make sure you check that out. All right, here is Paul Sperry. You want to read this one, Tim?
Yep. Breaking. Just declassified FBI docs reveal that Andrew McCabe, that's number 2 in the FBI in the Q drops, throttled the investigation of what? The Clinton Foundation in 2016, denying field agents evidence from what? The Wiener laptop. Avoid creating any impression we are investigating the Clinton Foundation or the Clintons. That's McCabe. So McCabe is now, you want to talk about a grand conspiracy case that John Sullivan was referring to, you can add this scumbag McCabe into it also, number 2 in the FBI. So, but that's the Wiener laptop stuff, which connects Huma, because you just showed the Huma CC in the emails. Huma Abedin worked with Hillary Clinton for 20 plus years. and she was all part of that. And of course, you've got the raw vid, raw vid, which comes from the Wiener laptop, which is the insurance file in the Wiener laptop, which is horrific shit that, you know, the Clinton Foundation was involved in, just to go full circle in a quick way.
Yes, man, you got my mind racing on multiple different things here. I can't remember what I was going to be.
So Uranium One and Clinton Foundation. Let's go quickly to those drops, and I gotta get ready to cook dinner for Matthew Q, brother. Sorry.
No worries. We'll be all right. Okay, Clinton Foundation.
You could keep going through some of those Q drops after if you want.
I might. Yeah, I might. We'll see how we do.
Keep painting the
picture. Yeah. Okay, so we got 7 drops, Tim, with CF specifically and Uranium One.
Okay.
Let's see if anyone pops in there that's not CF, like connected to, again, just CF. Looks like they're all CF.
You're all legit.
This one's interesting. What comes next? CF, boom, shock, buy. ADMR pops up in there again.
Plus.
Yeah, and Uranium One, the clock is ticking. This one, CFs, is just randomly mixed into an image here, but I think this is about the blackberries being stored in these storage. They would ship these things. Almost certain this is about the blackberries, which would connect to Hillary Clinton. Let's see what Q says on this one. I'm almost certain here. Let's see. That's what Anon shared this. Bloomberg. The big hack, how China used the Chinese chip to infiltrate America's top companies. This might be the iPhone thing. The big hack, how China used a tiny chip to get out of my face. All right, so we'll have to try this one too. The big hack, how China used a tiny chip to infiltrate U.S. companies. The attack by Chinese spies reached almost 30 U.S. companies, including Amazon and Apple, by compromising America's technology supply chain, according to extensive interviews with government, and then gets cut off there. That's what Trump's been all about, guys, too. That's what the tariffs are about, protecting American intellectual property, our stuff, again, where we're bringing in the revenue. Again, X22 does a great job talking about the financial system and how we're going to shift to the tariffs. Makes so much sense how it seems like gold and silver is going to keep going up also, but also Trump's going to have a reevaluation and then basically a competing economic financial system. You have to almost have them two going at the same time, because when the other one starts falling apart, people are like, oh, screw that, let's go over here. Okay, so we'll see how that all plays out, but that one definitely came up in my mind on this key drop. But let's go to the rest of these CF and Uranium Ones and see if there's anyone we want to read here before we
and one more thing too. You mentioned Dave X22 report. I'm highly recommend and encourage all of you to, if you got time tonight after Q School, and after watching John Solomon at 6 o'clock, so maybe 7 o'clock on, go to yesterday's Dave X22 report and listen to that show, and also yesterday's And We Know, LT and We Know. Those two shows, they blew my mind, and a lot of the stuff that is coming to the forefront, like the way they paint the picture, and what we try to do every day on Q School is paint the picture. It's just mind blowing. It really is. They've done an exceptional job. They're well in tuned, and obviously we like to think that we are also in tune with a lot of the things that they're saying also. But yeah, I was really blown away as I was kind of sick in bed yesterday watching and listening to all the shows. It was like, oh my God, I got to tell Kyle and Melzie this. Guys, if you haven't watched those shows, please watch them. Just for a good feeling that things are really happening, and the way that they have to, the way this has to come out, the way it has to fall into place.
Yeah, definitely. So this is just a little, some of the things that Q shared, and then they just shared their images with the Anon. Here's some kind of juicy Q drops from a while back, but that's from the Anon did the digs there. I'm not going to read that whole part. CF's in there. Look at this. Think Navy ship crashes bigger than you know. We are active. Q. Of course, we had the Mexican Navy crash. We were this summer when we were doing some Q schools on like Saturday evenings and stuff. We had that big Mexican Navy ship crash. That was odd to me. And then my friend was actually there, which made it even weirder. I'm not going to go to that one too much. Defense Department. I mean, this is all the things they get to really screw us, guys. Here's the big one, though, if y'all didn't know this right here. Clowns revealed in China and other places. Clowns being CIA.
Oh, there's 2010. What did John Solomon say? Goes back to 2010.
2010. There it is, right from the Q drop. So this one's big, guys. Clowns revealed in China and other places. 2010. 187 means murder. Sold Intel, they ask. HRC open source server. Missing emails and CrowdStrike. Maybe CrowdStrike helped her get rid of those emails. CrowdStrike is a Ukrainian-based company that does cybersecurity. And for some unknown reason, when the DNC got hacked in the summer of 2016, when the FBI took the servers, they just then handed them over to CrowdStrike. Instead of doing their own forensic analysis, they give it to CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity company, which now we know from Snowden also can upload tools. You can put a fingerprint on there, a quote unquote fingerprint of the server, and make it look like it was hacked. And they even did that. They did a copy of the server and gave that to the FBI, which would make it look like Russia hacked them. Why would FBI do all that? Makes no sense. Although if you go back to Q jobs and Q makes this whole full circle in the beginning, we're like, oh my God, these asshole deep staters, but full picture, maybe it was even the white hats back then starting this whole saga and this whole thing that's had to slowly unravel all the programming and mind crap we've been under. But most importantly, Hillary Clinton was not hacked. She granted access to China. This is the special access programs too. This is really your true patriots that maybe joined the CIA or NSA or intelligence agencies because they wanted to protect America, and they get stuck in this bullshit, or maybe they're serving their country. Some of these people were in country. That's be like a spy that's in China, under spy. Like if you get caught, he's killed. They're there for 10 to 20 years. And she sold these people out for money, and they got murdered. That's the 187. Many of them are murdered. There's even a mainstream article talking about all these CIA agents that were wiped out from China. Set us back 20, 10, 20, maybe even 30 years from all the evidence, information we were gaining with these spies that had been deeply embedded for decades, and she just sold them out. And that's what Q says right there. Granted access, betrayed our countrymen, just like they have everywhere else, just like they did at Benghazi. Only the tip. This will be made public soon, Q. So
Wow. This will be made public soon. What's look at the timing of this. I mean,
I know, and we're the news that unlocks the map behind. We're bringing it up, and imagine that we've been waiting.
You got 809. You got number 8, post 809. 17. That's 809. That's 17. And we got Trump speaking from the Oval Office at 9:00 tomorrow night. If you'd put the timestamp together, that's a 9. And you got the 222s, 222.
Yeah, February 22nd.
And tomorrow is the 17th, bro. There's your 17th.
I know, right? I know. And then here's another one. Y'all may not know about this. Q shared this one. I don't know if it's Q drop 1337. Sometimes that's off by one. Y'all can search the thing, though. Facebook is listening to you 24/7, 365. Literally. F9 algorithm. Are they recording and safe housing? Like all this data? Metadata collection. Building 8, that was also a company, but it's also like a top secret building, I think, too. And then DARPA, China, Q. So are these using different methods to spy on American people? All right, so we kind of did this one backwards. I guess we'll just do the rest of this here. There's the article from Bloomberg about China used this tiny chip to infiltrate America. Here's the quote from it. Quote, elemental servers could be found in Department of Defense data centers, the CIA's drone operations, and the onboard networks of Navy warships. Q earlier just said Navy, think Navy ship crashes. Okay, that's what was the start of this. Q drop right there. Think Navy ship crashes bigger than you know. We are active Q. This is another odd one. Okay, this is a Q post 2335 embedded in here. Q responded 8 minutes 14 seconds later to themselves with the rest of these images, and then here's the article again that we're showing. Multiple people from Europe, the matter, say investigators found that the chips had been inserted at factories run by manufacturing subcontractors in China. This is also why Trump wants all of our jobs back in America, manufacturing done in America, because when we rely on other countries, they can screw us if they want to be our enemy. Okay, one official says investigators found that it eventually affected almost 30 companies, including a major bank, government contractors, and the world's most valuable company, Apple Inc. One country in particular has an advantage executing this kind of attack. China, which by some estimates makes 75% of the world's mobile phones and 90% of the PCs. And I was kind of mentioning this on another show. These assholes were embedding chips in our electronic devices. So they're spying directly on us, like basically subverting the NSA. They had their own tracking devices in all the crap that we were buying because America and our politicians sold us all out. So all of our crap got made overseas. Imagine that. China's not our friend, so they started spying on us. Okay. But that's just what the U.S. investigators found. The chips had been inserted during the manufacturing process, two officials say, by operatives from a unit of the People's Liberation Army, that's CCP. And in Supermicro, China's spies appear to have found a perfect conduit for what U.S. officials now describe as the most significant supply chain attack known to have been carried out against American companies. Q just says, the more you know, ... Q. And then these two juicy drops that connects to Facebook, DARPA, China, and Hillary Clinton selling everybody out with her granting access to her server, and CrowdStrike covering up the crimes. There you go. That's how those assholes operate, you know? So,
good job, brother. What about those other U1 and CF ones? Let's can we riddle off some of those? Yeah,
I saw something about the clock is ticking. Let's do this one, especially if you don't have a lot of time. This one's
I'll listen in the background. So yeah, you're on a roll. I'll just keep listening. I can work the kid. I'm in the kitchen.
Okay, if you're listening too, since we don't have emails, sometimes if I'm sharing screen, if my mic gets muted by
I'll
the
let
thing,
you know. I'll let you know. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right on. And okay, so here's QDrop 2626. You know what QDrop 26 is about, Tim?
26.
Let's revisit it. Let's revisit it for everyone. Let's check out 26 since we're gonna do QDrop 2626. Let me get you one more post from you, Tim, while you're here. QDrop 26.
Nice. Think about it logically, Q-tards. The only way is the military, fully controlled. Save and spread. Once 11.3 verifies its first marker. Now, there was an election on 11.3. Which election was that, Kyle?
2020 was 11.3. And 2026 midterm?
Yes, the midterms is on 11.3, just saying. Biggest advanced drop on poll. So we're, like we said a few weeks ago, we're in our second 8 years of our 16-year plan. Just saying, guys. There's more than one 11.3, multiple meetings and multiple timelines.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was checking a few more comments on the back end there. So there's QDrop 26. Think about it logically. The only way is military. Fully controlled. Okay, fully controlled. So let's go check out QDrop 2626 from December 19th. So we got a Delta coming up, 2018, 7 years ago, 18/11/25 on the timestamp. An article from NBC News. To start with the QDrop, Flynn hearing leaves the far right conspiracy theorists wanting. So again, they're always trying to. This is the black pillar stuff. All of it, again, why we be confident. And that's like Tim saying, you'll get excited. Watch X22. Watch And We Know. We can see the plan developing. We know we want, like we have already won. We say winning, but it's already won when you start to believe it. So the media, these black pillars, these bots, these faggots, these shills, everything else, it's always to disrupt your confidence and trust in the plan. It causes fear, doubt, and confusion. That's the only tools they have. So watch how they'll do that, right? So this one, they're going to, again, make fun of people right here. Oh, Flynn hearing leaves the far-right conspiracy theorists wanting. It wasn't what they thought. Again, and sometimes, yeah, anons might drum some things up. They might turn into date faggers, right? Or buy into somebody's dig, which is fine. But then the media will spin it like it was this major letdown and stuff. They're always trying to do that. So be mindful of the tone here, okay? As Mueller's, this is Bob Mueller's, investigation has widened and ensnared more members of Trump's team, conspiracy theories of Trump loyalists have been forced to contort in a variety of ways. Again, they're trying to make fun of basically Q-tards. But we know what's up. December 18, 2018. Remember, 1 year to the day, Flynn was free. Let's see here. Ben Collins, he's another one. They usually have the same kind of guys that do the go into the QAnon ones of these hit pieces. You'll see a lot of these similar names, and the people look just, I don't know, anyways, not the judge, but a year-old conspiracy theory simmering in both far-right message boards and mainstream conservative publications that predicted former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn would be exonerated fell apart on Tuesday at his sentencing hearing, leaving believers perplexed. The rumors, which were pushed heavily by believers in the QAnon conspiracy theory in recent days, I think we showed that, guys, where it was, I think it's December 4th, right? It was December 4th, so we did that Delta whenever December 4th was, whatever day we're on now, I guess 12 days ago. And and Flynn was going to be freed, right? So then this is Judge Emmett Sullivan, and there's a big major Q proof on this a couple years later. But we're in 2018 still. So the very end of 2018, this is that Santa Christmas. That was all 28 to December 12th stuff. There we go. So they were leading into the Mueller report didn't come out till 2019. Then when that fell into a dud, then they impeached Trump for the Ukraine stuff. But let's see. The rumors were pushed heavily by believers in the QAnon conspiracy theory in recent days, because again, the Q drop showed us that. Why does it keep going up there? I do that. Sorry, guys. This is I was trying to highlight it. It doesn't like the highlighting on this page, so I'm gonna keep going here. Okay. Predicted that Judge Emmett Sullivan would throw out Flynn's guilty plea and reprimand Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team for nefarious investigating practices. Of course, Q-drops don't actually say that. That's their assumptions, beliefs. Oh, Matthew Q. There's Matthew Q over there. Make sure we put our names on there so everybody can see us. I think you do it here. It should be on. Screen names on. Oh, and there's names on. Okay, there we go. Matthew Q's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Tim's making him some dinner. Everybody's got great comments to you, brother Tim. They all say Tim's such a great dad. So I just want to add that in case you haven't missed that. Thank you guys for all your beautiful, kind comments, by the way, to all of us. Okay, in reality, Sullivan excoriated Flynn. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Saying that, quote, and again, remember, Sullivan is this cabal deep state clown judge in the first place, right? We've seen plenty of corrupt judges. So you see how they have all their insurance policies, they're all people in place, and they paint this whole narrative. Now they're going to use this cabal deep state judge who's going to go after Flynn even though he can't do anything about it, and then they're going to drum up that narrative in the media to make you cause doubt in the plan. Okay. Let's see. Flynn, Sullivan said about Flynn, quote, arguably you sold your country out. And anybody knows he did none of this such thing. He did exactly what a national security advisor should do, is start talking to other countries that the president's going to deal with. He was literally doing his job just like Trump was, and they kicked him out of there. And now they're trying to say he committed treason or all this craziness. He did none of the such things, by the way. Okay, FYI, so he doesn't know the details. By working as an unregistered foreign agent, which all these assholes had done before that, he was again highlighting the that people were doing that, like the Podestas, okay, and other people of Ukraine. These basically all this deep state agents to Turkey while advising President Donald Trump during his candidacy and clarifying with Flynn that he did not wish to challenge the circumstances under which he was interviewed by the FBI. I'm not going to get all the details. Again, the FBI thought they tricked him by interviewing. Again, the movie, which I want to try to highlight, is the Higher Loyalty, the Comey. It's like four-part miniseries. Really does a good job helping you understand all the ins and outs of the Spygate stuff, if you will. But the guy that's General Flynn, he's getting interviewed. He's like, well, you guys have the transcripts. He knows they've already read the transcripts of his call, but then they're doing an interview with him, like they're going to try to entrap him into like purging himself, and he's just like, well, you guys have the transcripts. This whole call is like they think they caught him, and he's like already telling him, like, I know you idiots are coming after me, like, don't be dumb. But they're dumb, or we already had them under control. It was white hats all along. Who knows? Either way, they are fucked. We are not. Okay. Let's see here. So Flynn's defense attorney suggested last week that he had somehow been entrapped into lying to the FBI. Now, the beauty of this is he pleaded guilty to lying, but he didn't actually lie. That's the funniest part about the whole thing. So it's the oddest guilty plea ever. It was basically, that's why I got thrown out, because he didn't actually lie. So the whole thing is interesting. Moves and counter moves, say the least. Watch that episode. We just did that the other day too. Moves and counter moves. All those episodes on Rumble. Hammer time, rapid fire Q news. Look what happens. Y'all leave me alone here on the island. I got Matthew Q with me though. He's holding me tight. Okay. Quote, I was aware that lying to the FBI was a crime, Flynn told Sullivan, adding that he accepted responsibility for his false statements that he didn't really make. Though Sullivan delayed sentencing Flynn for 3 months, noting that Flynn could cooperate further with Mueller's team. Again, that was drumming up all the mouth breathers that they thought Flynn was turning over evidence against Trump. He made it clear that a jail term for Flynn remains a possibility. Now, y'all have seen fast forward, Judge Emmett Sullivan gets removed, and it's right over on the over-under the date that the Q team does the prediction. It's right on the mark. And General Flynn has served 0 days of jail time. So fuck you, fake news. Y'all can't do shit. You can't take our hopes. You can't let the air out of our sails. Nothing can stop what's coming. You fake clowns. We know what it is. Okay. As Mueller's investigation has widened and instead more members of Trump team, conspiracy theorists, Trump's loyalists have been forced into a variety of contortions. Talk about contortion is when these fake news prostitutes talk for 2 years straight that Russia, the walls are closing in. Talk about having to do contortions with your bullshit stories. That's what you have become as contortionist experts, you fake news prostitutes. We're done with your dumb shit. Nobody listens to you. That's why Trump won in a landslide, even with all your hit pieces. Nobody believes that bullshit anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, y'all, here's your homework. Read the rest of this article. It's in this QDrop 2626 that is now expanded into quite a great length, and I apologize. Not so much, though. It's important. The clock is ticking. When will the first alarm ring? I wonder what that means. When will the first alarm ring? I mean, alarm bell's been ringing in everyone's head here watching for a long time. Like, what the fuck are we doing? They just tried to inaugurate Joe Biden. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's normal. He got way more votes than Obama. Only in the swing states, but not in all the other states. You know, no big deal. No big deal. It's crazy. I'm losing my mind here by myself. Hope you enjoy. When will the first alarm ring? Interesting. It's just a weird statement to me. If the Senate was the primary target, so backing up, this is in 2018. That was our first midterm after the Trump administration. I talked about it's very common. He actually highlighted after QSCHQL. We've been highlighting this because Trump says nobody's gave me an explanation. I've given you an explanation multiple times, Trump. When a party wins the White House, the presidency, let's say it's Obama wins in 2018. 2010, when nobody cares anymore because it's not the presidential race, it's a midterm, the people that, quote unquote, don't have their president in, aka the opposite party, will gain seats almost always in the House and Senate in the following midterms when it's the opposite party, the president, because the people that, if they're on like a sports team, lost the presidency are more motivated to vote in the midterms. All of us Q-tars and on Friends should all be motivated to vote. We saw all this stuff in the special elections. Nobody's showing up. I mean, we can't help anything if no one shows up. I get if they're stealing votes, but if nobody's showing up, I mean, come on. You got to actually care. Now I lost my train of thought, so I'm going to go back to the Q job here. But, the Senate. Okay, the Senate was the primary target. Q made it seem like the House was the target because that's where investigations start. So the Black hats bought into that. They thought, yes, they're gonna try to win the House so that they can stop impeachment or any of this stuff, right? The deep state actually took the bait on this one, and they would obviously then steal the election in 2018 since it's so important to handcuff Trump any way they can, mostly so they don't get convicted of their crimes. They're gonna stall with all this shit to get to 2020 and steal the election. I've shown that Q-drop many times. It takes forever to read. 4620. There's some other ones. Okay, so that's what's going on there. But the big thing was the Senate was actually the primary target. In Trump's first administration, a big thing it was for confirming judges. He confirmed over 300 federal judges, a record at the time. The reason he was able to do that many is because Obama didn't fill a lot of positions because these assholes are all pay for play. So Hillary Clinton had sold out all these seats. She's going to be the next president because they got the machines humming in November, right? We've shown this many times. If you haven't seen this one in a while, I guess it's time to show it again. Todd Mackerel telling Donna Brazile and John Podesta they will be meeting with Soros to pre-program the voting machines. Right here in the highlights, I'm just going to read. I'll be meeting with Soros later this week for some pre-programming of machines. This is March of 2016. These assholes openly discussing this. And at the bottom, these machines will be humming in November. That's why they never thought she would lose. Okay? But now in 2018, the Senate was actually the primary thing because it's also more important because, well, the White House wanted them to win the House because they knew they would impeach him, Trump, for bogus shit. And then the Senate, though, is who would actually convict Trump. So if they gain seats in the Senate, he's never going to be able to be convicted for impeachment and actually be removed. So Q team took this as a slings and arrows. Take on the slings and arrows. It's going to hurt him maybe on a paper, but it woke a lot of people up. We didn't know they were going to do the Biden presidency. Well played, White Hats on that one. But all this stuff helped to awaken people up and really expose the enemy. Showed the people the truth. It didn't just tell them. Okay. So the clock is ticking. When will the first alarm ring? If the Senate was the primary target, majority control, 53-47 active win. And that's what Q even had, that 33-47 in 2016. That was the first majority, is 53-47 conservatives to Democrats in the Senate majority there. And we've actually had it hit again more recently. It's a couple of years, the Q proof that keeps on giving it is there. And then an active win. This is why I also think something might be coming soon, guys, down the pipe. This is the process with our elections, is the certification process. Just like we saw with January 6th, some of it starts in December, but then January is when the electorates or the people actually get sworn in. And a friend of ours said maybe something's going to happen before that. We got the Brunson case out there. We got some other stuff. So it feels like the calm before the storm, the real big storm here.
Didn't Solomon, one of those clips we played, say the clock is ticking? I'm just saying.
Oh, he might have. I think he did. And there it is. He keeps hitting these Q drops. We got to be listening to Solomon, those keywords, right? And that maybe if you have some AI scanning some of that stuff, we can find these matches. Or if you read Q drops every day, like Tim and I, when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's in a Q drop. Right, brother? Okay, good. So let's keep going here. I know I'm getting a little long here. Executive order, designated targets, active win. Well, this would make me think of this 12/21 2017 executive order, but there's other ones. There's plenty of other ones out there too. Ongoing investigations. This is directly to Sarah Carter and even Sean Hannity, and then I think John Solomon have all mentioned these kind of things. That's what this Q drop is essentially saying here. That's why it's got the parentheses. Quote, there are a lot of sealed indictments. Sarah Carter says that right on one of these mainstream news things. And then Sean Hannity says it's all going to come out. Uranium One, the dossier, Clinton Foundation, etc. Sean Hannity said that. Q had been saying, hey, we have other people helping us in media. Yes, Handy's like one of these big names out there too. Is he a 2.0 or who knows, right? He's obviously on our team, or we're in control. However y'all want to understand that.
We might want to maybe tune in to Sean Hannity tonight too. I'm going to watch all of them at 6, but Hannity might drop a few more ups tonight based on how this is all unfolding before our very eyes. Just saying, guys.
Okay. And then he kind of gave us the teasers with this stuff too, because this is all 2018, right? Sarah Carter says, and again, they couldn't do certain interviews or stuff because there's ongoing investigations. These are all subtle ways the Q team is letting us know there's bigger stuff playing out. It took a lot longer than all of us thought. We also see that Q drop about the wheels of justice turning slowly, and Trump even just retruth those exact words, I think, more or less. We showed that Q drop yesterday. Maybe you missed that, Tim. I think I showed that yesterday, maybe. Could have been the day before, but the wheels of justice turned slow. Just do wheels of justice. Look up those Q drops. I think there's only 2 of them. But these are, again, statements from Sarah Carter. There are a lot of sealed indictments. Sarah Carter, the other 2 are Sean Hannity. It's all going to come out. Uranium One, the dossier, Clinton Foundation, etc. And he also said, I have pretty good sources. He kind of made a nod that like Q team was letting him know the information. We're all pumped about this. 2018, let's go. That's all the thing. And it is. You had to be through the storm, right? The fog of war. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we had to kind of encourage ourselves through the whole way. They couldn't tell us in the beginning it was going to take this long. We probably wouldn't even have started. Okay. There is a reason why Sean Hannity, Sarah Carter, and John Solomon are on stage. There's a key word too, on stage. So like I said, don't get too caught up with any of the players, Charlie Kirk or Erica. It's all being exposed. Highlight the things that get exposed. We had all this stuff with Castle Rock, Rob Reiner, the Castle Rock Studios that highlights Biden. Again, Castle Rock Studio with Biden. Trump tweeted or retruthed a while back that there was clones being Biden, all this stuff. He's getting more and more abrupt with it. This is a subtle way to highlight Castle Rock and the Reiners. And by the way, nice dig too yesterday. I think it was it Cindy or somebody else? I apologize. I think I wrote down that Rob Reiner's wife is the one who took the photo for Trump's Art of the Deal book. Odd little connection there. And there was some really good stuff about it. I feel like we've gone too long today. Well, maybe we'll do a few more Rob Reiner things. Oh, actually, you know what? I do want to do that Q drop, and I actually have it up still, so I'm gonna do it right now. So I know Tim's. I'm glad he got to pop back in here, but I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling. Forgive me, I'm the only voice rambling. Hopefully, you guys don't mind hearing me for a little bit. I looked up Reiner, just Reiner. This was after the show because I forgot to do that. And I had Trump's X post on, which is interesting. Out of 57,000 X posts from Trump, there was only one with Reiner in it, and then one Q drop. So here's Trump's tweet. It's from September 6, 2013, at Gary Greiner. I think it's G Reiner, so it's not actually Rob Reiner, but that's still odd to me. At Real Donald Trump, we should send Obama and Congress to Syria. Wow, Syria's been in the news too. And I guess somewhere in the Bible did it say something about Syria being significant, or Damascus. Is that Syria? Okay, so 2856 on 222 no less. And I think that just came up because, oh yeah, we showed the last Q drop, which was in the Clinton Foundation Uranium 1, and it showed that Q pose from February of 22nd, 2018. So this is 1 year later. This one's going to be juicy. This is with Rob Reiner. And this also connects to everything we're talking about too. So let me go with this. So we've been showing a lot of Q drops from December of 2018. As we're going to lead into 2019 now, this is when the Mueller report's finally going to come out. It's going to fall flat on its face. And again, it's going to just totally deflate the sales of all the people on the left who were like just bloodthirsty. The walls are closing on Trump, Mueller. I mean, people got like a full back tattoo of Mueller and getting Trump and all this shit. Now, the people were getting the information. It was going to be a dud. Here they are painting the narrative, different people painting the narrative. Let's check out a couple of these tweets here. So Q drop 2856, 222 on 2019, 2027 on the timestamp. That's of course 47. We didn't have any idea Trump would be 47 at this time. Soft push of new narrative. Example. Okay, let's check out Kim Strassel. I think she's a big old following, always hitting hammering, anti-Trump stuff. Let's see how many followers this fake clown has here. 524,000 followers. Potomac watch columnist for Wall Street Journal. I think it was Wall Street Journal, wasn't it? No, I could be getting them confused. It was Huffington Post had Hillary Clinton at 99% to win the 2016 election. But she says here, conspiracy theorist Adam Schiff is looking for something new, anticipating a Mueller letdown, writes Kim Strassel. Interesting. She calls him a conspiracy theorist. Maybe she's on the good side. I'm not sure. But Adam Schiff is looking for something new, anticipating a Mueller letdown. But they're already painting the picture to their base that it's going to be a letdown. There's the first one. Kim Strassel, this opinion from the Wall Street Journal. Look at that. Shifting to phase 2 of collusion. There's the news unlocks the Mac. Phase 2. Wait, I thought Adam Schiff said there is evidence of Russian collusion and Mueller released it. So I think this Kim Strassel is actually making fun of Schiff here, calling him a conspiracy theorist because he said that there was evidence. This is the knowingly. And I covered a knowingly Q drop yesterday, Tim, and I didn't get to this Rob Reiner post. This is the Rob Reiner post, by the way, that we're doing. So in case anybody knows why I jumped into this one, but it rolls into everything we talked about yesterday and everything talked about today, I think, as well too. So one more showing here is Kim Strassel. I'm going to click this button. This will take me to the Wall Street Journal article. And I don't know if it'll let me read it, though. Let's see. I guess it is. Shifting. That's pretty creative. Shifting to phase 2 of collusion. Conspiracy theorists look for something new, anticipating a Mueller letdown. February 21st. So that was a 17 on the timestamp. 7:19 p.m. Eastern time is a 17. 7 plus 1 plus 9. Adam Schiff speaks with reporters February 6th. There's been no more reliable regurgitator of fantastical Trump-Russia collusion theories. There's been no more reliable regurgitator of fantastical Trump-Russia collusion theories than Democrat Rep. Pencil Neck Adam Schiff. So when the House Intelligence Committee chairman sits down to describe a, quote, new phase of the Trump investigation, pay attention. There are the fever swamps. These are the fever swamps into which we will descend after Robert Mueller's probe. The collusionists need a, quote, new phase as signs grow that the special counsel won't help realize their reveries, I think this is the Donald Trump takedown. They had said Mueller would provide all the answers. Now that seems they won't like his answers. Democrats and media insist that any report will likely prove anticlimactic. So they're helping their best base know it's going to be a big old whopper of a dud. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Q drop. Let's try example 2 here. New York Times opinion. Here's our fake news all clamoring in coots together. A concise Mueller report would mark the end of the beginning, not the beginning of the end, argues this person. So that was their clip. Maybe somebody can help find that and drop that in the chat. I'd love to have it. It's a really funny one. The beginning of the end, right? They do that and it does the time lapse. It's the beginning of end Trump. It's the beginning of the end for Trump. Beginning of the end. So that's what this is kind of alluding to. New York Times, probably the biggest purveyor of this bullshit. But now they're kind of making fun of themselves, I guess. A concise Mueller report would mark the end of the beginning of this Mueller shit, not the beginning of the end like they said it was for Trump. So, desperate farce. No evidence has been presented after years of investigation. I think I'm following this Wayne guy already. Yep. By the way, I found Lady Red Wave after the show. We followed her live, and then I said, "Hey, you were on QSCHQL." They were super stoked about it. Some of the timestamp that they were on the show. So, Lady Red Wave, if you're out there watching today, thanks for the connection on X. Desperate farce. No evidence been presented after years of investigation by organizations with massive resources and contacts in the FBI and the U.S. intelligence, or the contacts in the FBI, the U.S. intelligence apparatus, huge news networks and media, the Democrat Party, Hillary's campaign, U.S. Congress, and a once-in-a-decade special prosecutor. Interesting, it says special prosecutor. That's kind of what the Q team's talking about, but it was special counsel, but he's kind of a special prosecutor. And then here's from our, I guess it's Bronco. This isn't Garrison. CNN, the year 2038 Wolf Blitzer update. We should see evidence of Russia-Trump collusion any day now. That's why memes are super powerful. The media's got to spin a whole article to try to make Q-tards have some doubt. All we got to do is just show a meme that exposes all the truth for the world to see, and they know, yeah, there you go. That's how bullshit this whole thing is. All right, so that was number 2. And then here's the third one, Rob Reiner. Check this one out, Tim. You think that tweet's still up? You guys think it is? And look at that. Rob Reiner, his account's still there, but this tweet's gone. What's he doing? Why is Rob Reiner? So that means Rob Reiner deleted it, because I'm almost certain he didn't lose his account. We should double check that. You know what? I'm gonna go back to check. Let's make sure we got Rob Reiner out here. Most certainly do. Rob Reiner. It's trending, but I want the account. The actual Rob Reiner, that's probably him. Oh, so maybe. What's the name on this one? Let me see. There was a Rob Reiner, and it's him. I wonder if he actually deleted his account, especially if everything got exposed, like Chrissy Teigen had to delete thousands and thousands of tweets, and then it just makes people more pay attention to it. Maybe he just started a whole new account, because I'm seeing, I guess maybe you can see, it looks like here the actual Rob Reiner. This is the blue check mark. 8,000, that shouldn't be him. An actual actor should have way more than 8,000 followers. Wrong. Husband, father, proud supporter of the Constitution and the rule of law. Yeah, right. I don't know if this is the real guy or not. It doesn't really make sense. Actual Rob Reiner's got a blue check mark, which is odd. Doesn't necessarily mean stuff. Kind of eat that now, which is a little odd that they did that. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to go back here. We're going to do this click the envelope thing. Thank you, Miss Smith on QAG, for having this function for us. Share this tab now. This is what it looks like. You click on it, you get a little screenshot. And there it is, Rob Reiner. There he is. Blue check mark then at Rob Reiner. So he must have deleted his account. If anybody knows what's up with that, that'd be cool too. Let me know. And here's what he said. From what I understand about and by the way, the total TDS, retard, anti-Trump are all the things, you know what I mean? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. From what I understand about the complexities and opaqueness and length of counterintelligence investigations, I'd be surprised if Mueller was able to uncover the breadth of this conspiracy. More digging will have to be done. But they're crimes, and we better get to see them. So here he is jumping up his, and he now deleted his account, or I don't know. I guess he deleted his account maybe. This is kind of funny to read some of these comments. Again, it's a screenshot, so it's a picture in time. The crime is how much this is costing taxpayers, right? It's a ton of money doing this whole Mueller BS. And then here's your typical TDS, talking about the golfing and all this stuff. Obama went to Duke, North Carolina last night or tonight. Want to guess what the cost for the Secret Service was there? So again, that's all the nonsense too. You know, Obama still has all this Secret Service. Anyways, you can just see a kind of little sneak picture of the things we had to deal with online. There was a lot of leftards still out there, or bots too, or all these other things too. Oh, this one. I knew there was one I wanted to read for you guys. This TDSer said, I don't really care if I get to see the report, as long as he's prosecuted or removed. A perp walk would be awesome too. And then Richie Rich said, I think you should receive the same punishment for your lack of knowledge. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I got some entertainment. It was kind of like nostalgia, going back to the days of the wild, wild west of the Twitter. Yeah, I kind of had a couple Anon friends there, but not so much. You know, just kind of trying to figure out things as we go. So let's go back to the Q drop. Anything on that, Tim? I know you're back there. That's good to see you, though. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's see, guys, on the side here. Tim's just having a blast. All right, what happened to the Mueller hype? By this is the only Q post with Reiner. Okay, Rob Reiner, both stabbed by their son. The father, helped co-founder of Castle Rock Productions. There's some really good videos on Instagram and stuff. Not going to get into too much. We just missed this Q drop, so I'm just going to read the Q drop. What happened to the Mueller hype? What happened to the Mueller will take down POTUS threats at John Brennan? How's John Brennan doing, by the way, too? Did he actually get indicted? Is he arrested, or is he just like waiting trial too? What's the deal with that? Do you know on that one?
Waiting. That's a good question. Did he get?
So it's like an arraignment. I've asked for a handful of things. Let's see if the friends got anything up here.
I don't know if he's
ghost
indicted yet. He's next. He's coming next, I think.
Okay. Kathy, welcome, Kat, by the way. Kat over on Kat's Crazy Corner. His ghost deleted his account, I guess. Jedi shared something on YouTube. Let's see. SNL skit, 3.4 million views. Shift. Let me see what you got. I got to hop over to my other thing. Let's read the rest of this Q drop. I'll see what.
I gotta dip out too, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy John Sullivan at 6. Watch Hannity at I think Hannity comes on at 9 or 10 o'clock, or I forget what time he comes on. He's after Jesse Waters anyway. So yeah, we'll see how the news unfolds with Uranium One and Clinton Foundation and rigged 2020 election and J6 committee shenanigans. What else, brother? I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
It's like dizzying. There's so many things playing out at once. Like the Q drop said. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. So maybe for our closing video, I don't have everything propped up for you, but maybe Scotty Marr's got some new stuff for us. I haven't looked.
I got something there with Trump on. Air Force One, Saturday Night Live, some kind of skit, I think. So Jedi cooked that one up, so we'll go with that one. I think it's gonna be good. Looking to see if any in the digs. I can't remember ask for. Okay, brother, love you, thank you. Rocket Machine friend, thank you guys. All the love, sending love, Matthew. What I asked for? Were you guys not digging? Jedi, here's another good one. LifeLog, a DARPA project ended, then Facebook, same as LifeLog, aka never ended. Right? They didn't want us to have all of our information. Or we wouldn't want to give her information. Andrew's in the house. What's up? Pray for Tina Peters. Andrew, brother. Got a call from him the other day. It's good to chat with you, but I don't know if you're still in there watching on YouTube. Kind of cool. We're on YouTube, by the way. So check it out over there. It's at QSCHQQL. We put we got the yellow ticker up there. No, put that back up. Y'all can find us different places wherever y'all want to help support the show too. Different places to invest as well. Donations. You can do in donations, or we have different swag too on merchandise and whatnot to help support the channel. If you guys want 17% off all the stuff in the store. Also, thank you guys though, all the love. So please share the live. Share the live out though, or like and subscribe, follow all those dealios. Okay, I'm trying to find where I was. I was stalling. So I was a little hard by myself. Tell me telepathically if something happens to the mic. Okay, in case I'm not there. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right. What happened to the Mueller hype? What happened to Mueller will take down POTUS threats at John Brennan? Who's really in control? Was Mueller. Now, why is Mueller in caps? That's odd to me. Why Mueller lowercase here and then all caps there? What's that about? Was Mueller the insurance policy, aka the blockade? How many Q drops with blockade? I don't know if you guys know this one. 22, one of 22, and there's 22 blockade Q drops. So was there 22 different blockades on the president? Seems like it. Okay, blockade designed to limit and restrict POTUS's ability to enforce the law. Think about future proofs past. Aren't these bullshit judges trying to do the same thing today? Isn't this happening to Trump today, right now? They're even, what's the big case out there? Somebody help me. There's a big case that's going to get roll out. Or also, I guess, the Tina Peters thing, right? Because Trump's doing the pardon, right? And he's saying that she should be free. And the states are saying F you, blah, blah, blah. So is this a blockade designed to limit and restrict POTUS's ability to enforce the law? Well, White Hats are going to use it to get the Supreme Court to set a precedent and say, y'all want to fuck around? You're going to find out now. You're going to find out, because the president's job is to protect the country. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution must defend your borders and protect the states and their people. Okay? The people that we have running these states and local governments are traitors. Okay, and they're in the kill box. They've been targeted, these traitors. New talking points being pushed, backing away from Mueller as the savior. That's all the fake news and everybody else. RE, excuse A, excuse B, excuse C, da-da-da-da-da. Why are new investigations by Adam Shifty Schiff being started if, as he stated for almost 2 years, evidence exists that ties POTUS to Russia? If they had evidence, do you think it would have leaked? Hello? That's everything they do as leakers. If they had evidence, would they be backing away, playing down the Mueller report about to be released? So we saw that from 2 fake news articles and a puppet from Hollywood, Mr. Reiner. First, they pushed for a special counsel. Now they claim the special counsel didn't look deep enough. That's the Democrats in a nutshell. Nothing ever can make them happy besides being back in power. If the special counsel report is classified, how do they know where, when, who, why, and how deep each case actually even goes? Great question, Q team. Great question. Okay. If the special counsel report is classified, how do they know the conclusions of the freaking report? Okay. Are the new investigations designed to an insurance extension? And we see that play out in the longer Q drops that I've done that basically showed they did everything they can to hamstring Donald Trump for those 4 years to steal the 2020 election and get back in power. Okay, White Hats used that to our advantage, though, and then rolled out the wet paper bag of Joe Biden, the most popular president in the history of the United States, 81 million votes. Ah! Okay, designed to prevent POTUS from cleaning house. Ooh, remember, clean house? And there's also an H clean house Q drop, too. I'm not sure which one that is. Attack on political opponents who is and are actively conducting and leading investigations into the president for XYZ charges beyond Mueller for XYZ reasons. Zero evidence to support. Okay, they're just going after Trump everything they can. And we see that then on the next step here when Mueller fails, they're going to we're going to impeach him. For what? For what? Nobody can find anything. Well, we're going to just look and then find something. That's everything against the rule of law. That's not how you prosecute people. You don't go searching for a crime. A crime happens and then you investigate. And when it unravels who that guilty party is, then you do the grand jury and go after them. It was the exact opposite for Trump. They're just looking for anything they can to get him on. So here it says obstruction trap. What's that in gematria? That's just glaring at me. Obstruction trap? Question mark. SDNY, and Tim was just saying that. Uranium One, Wiener laptop, the DNC, the server. Okay. SDNY opening private investigation for the sole purpose of finding a crime. Okay, this is the SDNY, the bat, going after Trump, right? And they were. This is Letitia James, too, isn't she? SDNY. Again, they were going to, we're going to impeach Trump. Some of these new people brought in 2018. Or what is that called? The squad or all that dumb shit. Okay, evidence to support? No. Evidence presented? No. Does SDNY report to Attorney General Barr? I guess. I don't know on that one. So I don't know. I guess I should know better. Watch the news. News unlocks the map. Okay, Maxine Waters opening new investigations into the finances of POTUS and or his family. Like I said, they looked everywhere under the sun to try to pin something to Trump, and we just showed at the beginning of the show that Bill Clinton got $500,000 from Russia for giving a 15-minute speech when Hillary Clinton's the Secretary of State and sells off 20% of our uranium. It's fucking absurd. Their crimes are everywhere. And they've spent 10 years trying to get Trump on something, anything. And there's been a big, fat nothing burger. And we're done with the shit. We're done with it. We gave you all your chances. You're out of chances. Okay? It's a wrap. Why did D state things will calm down if we retake the House prior to the midterm elections? Okay, that's what they wanted to tell their people, that they'd get Trump under control because we'd drum up some more bullshit. Okay? Was their plan to retake the House in order to chair each respective committee in order to start new erroneous investigations in an attempt to retain the blockade? You could pretty much say, you betcha. That's who these people are. What's beautiful of this is if the White Hats have known this plan all along, moves and counter moves, and everything that they had planned has been forecasted and accounted for, like the Q drops say, And if we had Huber in the beginning and he hands it over to Durham and we got Durham Jr. and it's a giant RICO case and everything connects to the next one, all movies playing out simultaneously, what if you have this massive RICO case tying it all together? Wouldn't people also be able to understand that? Oh shit, 2016, there was actually Hillary Clinton that was trying to do the rigging. Oh, they also spied on Ted Cruz. Oh my God, the DNC server wasn't hacked. Their own people said, this is fucked up. The people need to know. Seth Rich, they murdered that motherfucker. Then by the way, Patriot, excuse my language. And then on to the next thing, right? And then the impeachment hoax, the Mueller hoax, right? Then the 2020 stolen election. Then we get the January 6th hoax. And then the Mar-a-Lago raid. Everything else, it all ties together, okay? And that's what all these Q jobs helping us understand. It's been a long time coming too, and we still need to help other people understand this because it's just a really convoluted, craziest spy story ever written, and we're watching it in real time. All right, so let's keep going here. Retain, where'd I go? Retain the insurance policy. Okay, that's the blockade. Retain the optical illusion that a crime was committed. Think about that too. When you hear the same thing over and over again from multiple so-called trusted sources, people start to believe it. So if they calling Trump a criminal all the time, they're calling him racist, they're calling him fascist. I saw that one at least over and over again. Y'all can hear me. Check telepathically. Just say yeah. All right, we keep going. I think I'm back. Should be back. Retain the optical illusion that a crime was committed. Retain the narrative. Retain debase outrage, retain debase obstruction, retain dirty base support to block POTUS's agenda. If you know your opponent's moves, I was just talking about this. I didn't read this job ahead of time. I never do. If you know your opponent's moves, what advantages that does present? That's a weird way to say, what advantages that does present? That's a weird way of saying that. Why wouldn't that say, if you know your opponent's move, what advantages does that represent or does that present? Why is that backwards? Why am I having so much trouble with that? It's odd. Something's odd about it. If you have the truth, think about Trump on Truth Social now, on your side, what advantages does that present? Now they switched it the right way. What's going on here? I don't understand what that's about. Okay, it's there though. If you have full control of the United States military, what advantages does that present? If you have complete authority to declassify anything, because daddy's in charge, what advantages does that present? If you have the support of the American people, hoo-yah, and patriots across the nation, which we saw in 2024 profoundly, what advantages does that present? You do not trust the fake news media. You are the majority. Mueller, D-Class, Office of Inspector General, Truth, Justice, The Great Awakening. You are the news now, Q. Amen. All of us are out there. We are the news now, as we've been saying for a long time. So that's the Q job with Rob Reiner. Doesn't that connect perfectly with everything we were just covering? We had some Mueller drops. We got Uranium One. We've shown John Solomon. Tim's watching One America News Network. We should probably show that one, where you can find that at One America News Network. I'll just bring it up right on here. One America. I think I got to do it again because I deleted everything. There it is. That should be it. OANN. Is that the one? I always get it confused sometimes. I think it's One America News. Tim's probably screaming at me. Yeah, it's One America News. I don't think it's it's not this one, is it? It's
Real America's Voice.
Real America's Voice. Shit. Sorry, guys. Sorry, John Solomon. Thank you, Tim. Real America's Voice. Gosh. Okay, I got it now. Why did it do some search like that? Real America's Voice. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this is what the website looks like. Here they are, Real America's Voice, and 6 o'clock Eastern time is when John Solomon comes on. There you go, Los Angeles District Attorney to charge Nick Reiner with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And he's got the Castle Rock shirt on. Some more good digs on that stuff. So there's americasvoice.news is the actual address. Real America's Voice is the name of it, but it's americasvoice.news. Okay, so there's some stuff about Brown University, all those good things. All right, let me close this out. Okay, I think I'm gonna close it up though. I'm just checking over there. Anything Operation Trust? Okay, I think it's too much. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Any pressing issues from all y'all? I think y'all probably wore out, brains fried too. Also, thank you. You guys did good. I'll probably just read the rest of these comments later. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Tim, for coming on, by the way. Appreciate it. Love, love, love. We'll be back tomorrow. Should I do the Saturday Night Live thing, or what was the... Let me see if I can find, real quickly, if y'all can hang with me just 1 second. I'm going to see if I can find where the walls are closing in on Trump. That's a really good one. Probably wouldn't be compilation. Come on. Since we got the thing unlocked, could this be? Oh, this might be it. I think I got it. I'm gonna cross my fingers. This is gonna be the right one. We're gonna close it out. Y'all gonna enjoy this. Watch this. The fake news media trying to come after Trump for however many years running. What a dud it is. So show this one to all your friends and family. Let all these that are still, I don't know, somehow tarded, but keep leading the way. Let the lions keep speaking. Don't worry about the sheep. We're doing our thing, but get involved. You know the deal. Love, love, love. QS goes out. Y'all gotta enjoy this one here. The walls are closing in. Compilation.
Donald Trump's done. He's done. There's no question about that. He's done.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point. We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
The beginning of the end.
And breaking news.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
The call for impeachment.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news. Another bombshell out of the White House.
I believe this is the beginning of the end.
I do too.
It's really the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
So apologies real quick. I had the QSCHQL thing in the way. I moved to the other side. Watch the date to it. Keep showing each month as this goes along. And it's going to go in the next year and the next year. And watch that these clowns keep going over and over as the date keeps changing. I love that part.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over. Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
It reminds me a lot of the last days of Nixon.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
This is unbelievable. This is remarkable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
His presidency is crippled.
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed.
We begin with the bombshell.
The beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
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 In fact, if this were a football game, we're in the third quarter. May even be the beginning of the end.
We begin tonight with the bombshell.
Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
I do not think the president will serve out his term. Resignation. Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way. No how.
Breaking news.
An absolute bombshell.
I think Donald Trump is in trouble.
Donald Trump is not. He's done. And it's over.
It's over.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in. This is going to be the Achilles heel.
Breaking news tonight. I expect Trump to depart. This week will be the watershed week. Trump is in big trouble.
Trump's in a lot of trouble.
It's a sign of a terrified old man who feels the
walls
closing in. The walls
are increasingly
Closing in on him.
tonight. The walls
are closing in.
today changed everything. This is the beginning of the end. Today, the biggest
Tipping point for the Trump administration.
What a historic day. The bombshells, they fell.
It's entropy and it's crumbling internally.
He's underwater. He feels
The walls closing in.
Could his testimony be a turning point?
we may be at a tipping point.
It's the beginning of
The end.
The beginning
of the end.
Another bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell. Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
This is a bombshell. It is a bombshell.
I am beginning to resent the word bombshell.
Yeah. We love y'all. We love y'all. Love, love, love. Oh, yeah. QSCHQL's done. We back 17th special episode. Let's go. We're going to talk some more gold connections, new financial system. Be here tomorrow.